Halloween
forever.
Hey, you guys see that weather outside? It looks like we're at Seven Springs or something. Welcome, boys and ghouls, to another fucking Minisode. A very special Minisode of Halloween is Forever. I'm Brian.
I'm Meg.
I'm Steve.
I'm Ben.
Hey, we have a guest. Hey. Not only, boys and ghouls, are we recording in person for the first time since, I don't know, St. Pat. No.
It's past the thaw.
Yeah. I would say probably Valentine's Day-ish. We also have a lovely guest for maybe the third time guest, maybe.
Brandon was one.
Yes.
Ben is one.
Yes.
So mystery guess is who?
Oh,
No,
never
it was
mind.
because I was gone for 2 episodes.
Yes, I was
You only
thinking
replaced
the
me once.
Hangover guys,
Oh.
but we haven't had them on yet.
Right.
We were on their show.
But also we did do the Christmas things. So we actually had Dave from Apis,
That's
your wife,
true.
Decaying with the Boys, and
Yeah.
Adam from
So
Hot
Ben,
Nation,
what I'm
so-
saying is this isn't special anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, you're actually pretty far down the list.
Yeah.
Not a big deal.
Not a
Was
big
one
deal.
of 3, now one of
40 or 50 at this
Yeah.
point. But
enough.
we have Ben, and Ben, I'll let you introduce yourself in a goddamn second. But I do want to express some level of concern that I've been dealing with. Is that I think Ben is slowly taking over the podcast, and I want to confront you face to face about it. I feel that you are trying to maybe take my place. I think at some point you'll probably will just move into my house, and I'll
The
have to
wrestling
leave.
ring in the backyard is like no indication of what Brian's going to do later, okay?
No, but so Ben not only strongly suggested, but then campaigned for and ultimately
campaigned
won
so hard. Yeah.
the Bigfoot episode and suggested it, somehow hacked Steve's phone so it came up from the random wheel, then campaigned for it to win, and then we did the Bigfoot episode. Now we're doing another Bigfoot episode, and like I said, I feel like I've lost control of my life.
Again, it's going to be slowly transition away from Halloween is forever to Bigfoot is forever.
Bigfoot is
And that's
yeah, it's
I'm
gonna
glad
be.
you
It's
say
gonna
Ben
be
is
Halloween is forever, a squatch-tastic voyage.
Ben is for Bigfoot.
That'll be my final project.
So we are going to talk about today, but we got stuff to talk about first. But we are ultimately going to talk about a hometown film. And when I say hometown, I don't even mean Pittsburgh. I mean all within walking distance of my house.
The town where we're sitting right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all
This is
within
the
like
town.
Ellwood City, Fombell area. Not only were almost all of the actors in this movie from this area, but all of the locations as well are within like 10 minutes of where we're sitting right now.
I'm super surprised that you didn't actually buy a house that was somehow related to this film. Like,
Well,
I'm very surprised.
One of my best friends, Eric, his house is featured in the movie. So we'll talk about it as our I genuinely think about 2/3 of the people in this movie I know personally, which is very strange. I was confused as to why didn't I know more about this movie? And then it came to Kate last night we were watching. She was like, yeah, they did all this when we lived in Wisconsin. So I do remember when they did like the rap party for it, and a bunch of my friends were posting stuff on Facebook. She was like, how were you not involved? I was like, because it's when we lived in Wisconsin. But anyway, it is an absolute effing blast. But we'll get into that here in a second. We got a few other orders of business to take care of. First, let's talk about beers. What beers have we got here?
We got a bunch of beers.
We got a whole series of beers. Meg, what do you open? You got one. You're cracking open right now.
I feel like I'm gonna have to drink right out of the bottle for this one because I don't have an extra glass. So when I went to Austin, I stopped at Jester King, of course, and I got this one called Chimango, and it's barrel-aged farmhouse ale brewed with tamarind and re-fermented with mango, chamoy, and tahini. And I'm a huge tahini fan.
Me
like,
too.
Don't
I
even know what
love
tahini is.
It's like this spicy lime, like salty, like
Sounds
spice.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Like rim it for like a good Bloody Mary. Mwah. Chef's kiss.
Yeah, it's like lime, like chili
Anyone
powder.
gonna be offended if I drink right out of this?
No, you fucking do it.
No rules.
Yeah, it is tahini rules. Tahini is exceptional to put
Into that.
on whenever the peach truck. I don't know if you've participated in the peach truck.
I've heard of Peach Truck.
Peach
I've never
Truck is-
eaten from the Peach Truck.
Yeah, the peach truck is it's just some like bougie rich people way of getting peaches. Overpriced peaches.
Overhyped peaches.
Yeah, but they are legit so fucking
Yeah.
good. Tahini on a fresh
Oh, yeah.
ripe peach.
They
Fuck me.
actually sell peach rings with tahini on them.
Oh,
and I
yes,
bought
yes,
them.
you brought them
They're
here.
so
We did them
fucking
on the
good.
show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
And then
Bad
when
memory.
would tahini be added to a beer like that? Like way at the end, I'm assuming, right?
It's kind of salty, so I'm gonna assume it's later because it also says condition on it, so I'm assuming
Okay.
definitely later in the process.
I've definitely had plenty of beers where it was served in a can with
Yeah.
tahini sprinkled on
That
top in
was
the
the
rim.
tahini.
Here for every ounce of that.
Yeah.
I've never heard of this before. Wow.
I've got a bevy of beers in front of me. I was going to drink this Doppelbock from 11th Hour, which I am going to drink here momentarily, but Steve also brought this, which I'm super psyched about, and the can's rad as fuck. It's Three Floyds Brewing Speed Castle. It is a world-ending Pilsner, 5.6. That's a big old Pilsner, and it's just got some pretty sick graphics on it, and I'm about to pour myself a little bit of that. But then also, Steve brought another thing, or Meg, did you bring this?
No, I brought that. Yeah.
This is a Panther Pilsner, the pride of Warren, Ohio, of course. Who makes this? This is made by
Modern Methods.
I've had some of their beers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like them. You got this at Vintage.
No, I didn't actually.
Oh, really?
No, I got that at like an Ohio Eagle, and they were selling a mix, like a mixed 6-pack.
Nice.
So it's like we had a bunch on Hop Nation, and then like I wanted to bring this one to you because I know how much you love your pilsners and your lagers, and I wanted to see what you thought about that. I didn't know if you'd had them, but I know you have a long
Everyone
history with
missed the Pilsner
Youngstown.
dance.
Well, it's remarkably apropos for two reasons. One, you got it at Giant Eagle,
Yeah.
which is one of the most yinzer things places you can shop.
Except for in Ohio, though.
I didn't know
So,
there was
yeah.
one. I didn't know they were in Ohio.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
like,
actually,
that
they're
sounds
like
like the
huge
best.
in Ohio.
Really?
Yeah.
Giant Eagle, though, because you got the cool milk from them, too.
Yeah, I got
Right?
the cool milk from them. They also have a liquor store if I really need to inside, and then they have
No laws in Ohio.
yeah,
There's
Ohio
none.
wild.
Yeah. And
No
then,
laws, no car inspections, no nothing.
yeah, you don't get to, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
The other thing about this is it's called Panther Town Pilsner. Panther being the mascot of my high school, which Curt Wootton, aka Pittsburgh Dad, who stars in this movie, is wearing a a Riverside Panthers football jersey number 7. That is
7
my
degrees of
high
connection,
school.
yep.
Oh.
I wasn't number 7, but somebody on my team probably wore that jersey at some point.
This is basically a high school reunion for
It really
you.
is.
Literally.
I'm not even fucking kidding. We'll talk about this. The bar they go to that has the carpet on the walls in the background, the Hazel Manor in Ellwood City. That was the place that we would go to the night before Thanksgiving, just like when you came home from college.
Okay.
And all the high school kids, you go night before Thanksgiving, get all ripped up.
Yeah.
That's where we go, the Hazel Manor.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Not to ruin any surprises, but I hope that trend continues for the sequel to this movie.
Yes.
I hope it's all the same people.
I'm
just
sure it
A
is.
lot older,
Yeah.
same places, older, everything the same.
It
Yes.
seems like it might be filmed. We'll talk about it, but there's a sequel to the film that we're talking about, and the trailer came out like 2 weeks before.
Yeah, right.
We recorded this episode, but it looked like it might have been filmed at Seven Springs, which is also kind of injury. So
Oh, yeah,
They're
Super.
the most Yinzer place you
Yeah.
can take your family.
If you want to feel fancy.
We got kicked out of Foggy Goggle up there.
I literally
You did get kicked out of Foggy. Everyone gets hammered, get kicked out of
Underage
Foggy.
drinking in the Foggy Goggle. That was me. Yeah.
One time we were up there drinking Goggle Fogger at the Foggy Goggle.
oh god,
What the fuck?
Yeah, Goggle Fogger, health.
Yeah, the
fatheads.
Yeah.
and we's in the middle of a steampunk. so our goggles got all foggy while we's at the Foggy Goggle wearing
Oh my
drinking
God.
the
Goggle
fogger.
Fogger.
These are the Pittsburgh accents I was so excited about. And we're not even talking about the movie.
I'm going to slam 3 more of these beers and it's going to become permanent. All right, what do you got, Steve?
Oh well, I was drinking the Panther Town as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was just sharing that.
Sorry, I completely stole your thunder there.
No, I brought it on because I wanted to see what you thought about Pilsners. I don't think much of them, so
Well, you are a Philistine.
I am.
What do you what if we put like chocolate syrup and like a whole slice of cake and then sprinkled like
Can you?
chili powder on? Steve only likes you are probably my only friend who really genuinely loves like intense pastry sounds.
Yeah, I kind of brought that beer thinking of you.
Yeah.
Steve, yeah.
Yeah.
The other beer that I have.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And then Meg drinks. Meg is probably my only friend who genuinely likes just fermented puree. Yeah, Yeah, you love those beers. Don't fucking act like you don't.
I have drank for effect in a lot of situations. I understand.
There
yes.
were several episodes where you were drinking something that the dregs you poured out just looked like.
And I was like, this
jelly.
is fine.
You have brought way more gloop glops on this show than I have.
That's fine. I accept this.
Yeah.
Well, then why'd you get offended when he first called you out?
I was like, I didn't know this is what you thought of me. Like, I didn't know this was your perspective.
That side of the table loves all the beer that everyone makes fun of. All the time.
I appreciate that you understand that's who I am.
Yeah, and Ben and I are over here drinking good old loggies.
Loggers. Yeah.
Speak of the devil, what do you got over there?
Well, when I was down in Lancaster.
You mean Lancaster?
Lancaster.
Lancaster.
There was a place called the Fridge, and it's a fridge full of cans, and they had a whole bunch of Von Trapp stuff. So I heard about that on another podcast. I forget which one, but messaged you, Brian, too, to see if it was good. Indeed, you said it was good.
Oh, Von Trapp fucks.
I bought a bunch. I bought everything they had there. So
yeah. It does. The beer's fucking good as hell. Their Helles is great. Their Vienna Lager is great. Their Dunkel is great. They brew all the fucking boring old man styles
in my cooler right now. So I'm going to work my way through.
Definitely looks like an old man can, and I like that too.
Yeah, I like that vibe too.
You got another one of them Dunkels in there?
No. Huh?
You got another one of them Dunkels in there?
No.
Damn.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think they're from Connecticut. They're from the
Vermont.
Northeast, somewhere. Vermont. There we go.
Oh,
because
yeah.
it says a little of Austria, a lot of Vermont.
Oh.
Ooh.
It's supposed to be a
Fancy
beautiful
boys.
place. Like, it's legit.
Yeah, I've never been, but I've seen pictures, and it's pretty much
I would love
where
to
I
hear
want to be
how
buried.
that family truly inspired the sound of music. That's
I think, well...
Is that not really...
I would imagine there's a Nazi element that they're probably trying to bury deep down somewhere. But, yeah, I fucking love their beer. And you know what? Not enough breweries make Vienna lagers, in my opinion. I love me a damn Vienna lager. Okay, beersies are behind us. However, we have some very important business to deal with here. If you'll recall from last week's Minisode, we announced what our May Showdown episode is going to be, which is Friday the fucking 13th, which I think the more I've reflected on this choice, the more excited I am about it, because May is it's the kickoff to summer, right? Mm-hmm. And when I think summer, I think Camp Slashers. And our first Showdown episode was Camp Slashers. I feel like it's very apropos.
And it just so happens there is a Friday the 13th in May.
I know. Yeah.
So
yeah,
it happens.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
Serendipitous, I would go as far as to say.
The universe loves us.
So
the universe loves the audience.
So, but we're not going down and dirty on this like we did with the Hellraiser franchise. Everything's open, and we can pick whatever we want.
No rules.
No rules, just right. So, who's that phrase? It's no rules, just right.
No rules, just right. What is that? Outback Steakhouse? What the fuck is that?
I think so. All right. So, who should pick first?
Well, Meg,
this guy
Meg
is holding the belt.
Yeah, Meg did say last episode that she is the least familiar with the franchise.
Yes, that's true.
So, if she wants to throw it out there, I guess.
I would be open.
You're getting this face right
I
now,
would be
guys.
open.
Audience.
Listen, we understand
You won last
that
month,
you have
so.
one arm tied behind your back here.
Yeah.
So we're going to give you first pick.
That's fine. Then I'm going to go with OG of OG, and I'm going to go with the first Friday the 13th.
Yeah, that's not a bad pick. Knew you were going to pick that one, but...
This is the episode of Let's Make Fun of Meg as much as possible. And I'm here for... You know what? That's fine. I got wet meats in front of me. We haven't talked about that. Nothing can hurt me.
This table's already
can't
half
fucking
cut,
hurt
so
me.
if you jackknife powerbomb someone through it, it's going to explode.
It's going to explode.
Yeah. All right, so Meg's going with the first movie. She's going to be talking Pam throughout the first movie.
Can I say something just from one fan to the fans that are listening to this, that I'm learning this now for the first time, that no one here is physically holding any belt whatsoever.
No, sure they're not.
Shut up.
It's really disappointing.
You want to know why? Because this one, and I'm pointing at Meg right now, has been hoarding my belt, even though I've won multiple
I'm
episodes
going
in a
to
row.
put it in the mail tomorrow.
Yeah,
It defeats the purpose of having a belt if it never comes.
No.
It should come with you as everywhere you go.
She wipes her feet on it every day.
I've been taking shits on it too. Like,
Thanks,
straight
Amber.
up. I've been using it to wipe my ass because it's yours.
She's been fully wiping her ass with my belt. It's disrespectful. Yeah, every time we have been recording virtually for a while.
So now it's really not my fault, right?
No, it's your fault. It's your fault.
Still your fault because you could have
'Cause
drove
you
it
could have
over
today.
anytime.
I mean, you're here today. You didn't bring it, so it is your fault. In any case, we
want it, come and get it.
Fast forward to me horse kicking the door to your camper at 4 a.m.
Horse kicking it. Why not just explode through like Jason?
That's true. I just Michael Myers. I walk through the door, but
it's also reminding me of you just got to do what Bigfoot did in the who had what movie?
Oh yeah, just shove your whole thing
shove
down
it
a
off
fucking
the
hill,
edge, and then just jump on it.
jump down it.
It'd be fucking
that
great.
part.
It was actually.
I've twisted my ankle jumping down. I mean,
The last
2
stair.
steps. Yeah, so I don't like my chances there.
All I'm hearing is that you're a wuss.
Yeah, that's well established.
You wanted the belt bad enough, you would have got it by now.
Yeah, this is a whole big power play for her, by the way. This is not like a forgotten.
I wish like this is somehow being video recorded.
Yeah. This is what you don't get when we do virtually is all of Meg's like physical intimidation tactics.
Posturing.
Yeah.
Just like
I'm wearing a
spamming the
sleeveless
taunt.
shirt today, so you guys can see the guns.
Like she'll just like sit on me and make me hit myself with my own hands. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself.
Guys, don't worry. By the time this is Bigfoot is Forever, it will be filmed. We will have. That's part of my plan as well.
Yeah. All right, Steve. What are you gonna pick? What are you gonna pick? I've got 2.
Yeah.
I can go one or the other.
Yeah.
So
I have decided that I am I've watched a number of them to catch myself back up. And if you follow the Twitter at Hello Forever, you know I've been defending 5 a lot lately, just because I think it's an American giallo film, which it is.
it is.
It is. It's great.
I would say 5's got to be the most universally hated one,
I think so, but also
but
I
for
think
unfair reasons. I
yeah,
would argue.
unfair. I think it's unfair reasons. The ending still does suck, but overall, it also has like the biggest boobs. So check that out.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Boobs, yeah.
Biggest boobs.
Cool.
But
How many horses?
This movie has
it ends in a barn, so
Okay,
maybe.
might be a horse.
it
In the background.
alludes
3
again. It alludes
Yeah.
to
And just
The illusion of horses.
just a side track to 3. 3 has a whole thing with a horse stable.
Yeah.
And there's a story about how her father always buys hay but never buys horses. I don't know. It doesn't make any
that
sense.
sounds
But
like some old hick thing that you say to
Yeah.
like.
I know. It
Yeah,
means
yeah.
something
Yeah,
else.
it's always wasting your time.
Her dad buys hay, never buys horses. You know what I mean?
but again, 0 horses in 3 as well. But
Yeah.
I am going to choose 4. I'm going to go final chapter
Yeah.
with Crispin Glover and Corey Feldman.
It rules.
It does rule.
4 rules so fucking hard. I figured you were going to do either 4 or 6, and I would do the opposite. So I am going to pick 6.
Yeah.
6 is the little bit more self-aware one,
Right.
But I think it does a good balance, and I'm going to defend it. And I could have went 4 or 6.
Yeah.
Those are my 2 favorites.
6 has some hilarious editing. I love the editing in 6.
Yeah.
And it also, I think it is the best looking, but, we'll see when it comes time to defend who truly rules.
I'll have our new belts by then because this yoga mat belt
Yeah.
is no longer sufficient.
Well, then hand it over.
Oh, so you could wipe your butt with it. It's a yoga
I'm
mat?
definitely
Well, a big
going-
portion of it is a yoga mat. Yes, I made it from.
yeah, that wouldn't be
I
too
made it
bad.
from a series of scrap things from my garage, and one of which was an old yoga mat. But you know what? It's the once and future belt, so I would appreciate it sitting right there where currently your dog is farting on my chair.
He would just be farting on the belt.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right,
Dude, that
so-
belt has so many Bruce farts in it.
I make him land on like Bruce fart right
Right now, he's farting on my Halloween blanket. All right, so to recap, Meg has chosen number 1 in the Friday 13th franchise. Steve has chosen number 4, and I've chosen number 6.
Yes.
So next week's Showdown episode, if you want to go and watch this, some bitches, you probably should get on it. And if you want to follow us to help us pick some of these Showdown topics in the future, or suggest Showdown topics to put on the old spinny wheel, or Minisode topics, or you just want to see some damn spooky ooky shit on the internet, go ahead and follow us at Halloween is Forever on Instagram, at Hall Forever on Twitter, Halloween is Forever podcast on Facebook, Halloween is Forever pod, at Halloween is Forever pod on TikTok, or Halloween is Forever pod at gmail.com for the. So let's get into the damn movies. Actually, what do you want to do? You want to do snackies? Snackies. Guys, we haven't been in person for so long.
Yeah.
Let's get into some wet, drippy meats. Meg, what do you got?
So the other night, I was bartending at a show, and I walked across the street to a very divey gas station, and I just was walking by to the to pay, and I was like, I've never seen these wet meats before, so I need to buy it. This is Werner's pork and beef spicy pickled sausage.
It got all the words.
It's a Tillamook brand too, so let's give it a go.
See, that's like bougie.
Yeah,
I know. Look at it.
It's
looks
fancy.
Bougie.
It's pretty fancy,
and it is wet. I'll vouch for it.
These are
very wet.
we haven't had wet meats in a while. And
Look
at that.
God.
the way it slid out of there. If they would have held a mic up to it, it would have sounded like this.
She had to put it on a plate because it would have made a mess.
Oh,
I know. I rated your
the
cupboard.
juice.
I want to put that on a grill. That looks like it would grill up.
Here's the other thing that people
good.
don't understand about wet meats. They get all scared about wet meats. They think, where's the wetness from? And it's from the pickle brine,
It's
guys.
the brine.
It's the brine. It's not meat. It's not meat juices. Although and I'm not opposed to meat juices. It's the pickle brine.
Salty, vinegary brine.
I want the nipple on
Also,
the end.
also the other thing the audience doesn't recognize at this moment is that it is that bright red.
Yeah,
It's just that
fucked up, weird, bright red firecracker.
because they've put however many phosphates or whatever the fuck nitrates. Yeah,
This one is probably one of the least spiciest that I've had, though.
It's got a little bit of heat.
No, it's got a kick, but
Yeah,
I mean,
but
like,
not as much as like the Tijuana.
How does
Yeah.
Steve get snacks on his side of the table? He comes and gets them.
You know what? The pickliness is pretty legit though.
No, it's nice. I actually kind of like it. I feel like it almost has more of like a red wine vinegar-ish. You know what I mean?
Ooh,
Like,
lar.
I think I'm getting like the sweetness going on.
It does feel like a higher quality pickle brine.
yeah.
This ain't no Tijuana Mama. Though I do love me some Tijuana.
It definitely has more texture. The Tijuana Mama has a almost a paste consistency on the inside in a good way. Don't get me wrong.
I was gonna say, don't talk shit on it.
Yeah. I mean, normally I don't chew the Tijuana Mama. I just gulp it down, just jam it down my throat.
I'm actually real into this.
Yeah, this Jester King also pairs really well with that.
Yeah.
It like goes right hand in hand.
Yeah, that's actually fucking. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm assuming it's made like a hot dog is made, right?
Yeah.
A bunch of pressed meats stuck together.
Yeah.
A casing and then pickled forever.
And then they pickle that sumbitch. Yeah.
All
Did you just say pickle forever? Because I think we have a new pickling company brand, guys.
Pickle forever.
Pickle forever.
All right.
Pickle is forever.
Pat that right now.
TM. Don't fucking take it.
You know,
TM.
You know, we couldn't make that company without like having a seasonal pumpkin pickle. Like,
I would fuck with
no,
a pumpkin.
wait,
Wait,
side
pumpkin
story.
spice
No.
pickled meats or a pickled pumpkin?
both.
Guys, story time real fast. Bridge City Brinery. I feel like I probably brought this up, but I forgot the brand. But it was Bridge City Brinery did a like pumpkin, or it was like either pumpkin squash, kimchi.
Ooh.
Dude.
Yeah, we did talk
Yeah,
about
We
it.
did, and I
yeah.
can't remember the brand, and it was Bridge City
it's-
Brinery.
Oh,
I would
okay.
fuck
And I
with
actually
that.
ran it in.
They would do that
For
well.
the summertime, they're gonna do like a watermelon kimchi.
Ooh, I'd fuck with that.
Fuck.
I make pickled watermelon rind. I love it.
Yeah,
It's the best.
That would be so good.
I'm
I
so
love the rind
interested.
part of the
Pickle watermelon rind. My kids love watermelon.
Yeah.
I buy watermelon all the time, and they just munch it up. But personally, I buy it for the watermelon rind.
I need to
for
try it
pickling
this year. I
purposes.
haven't, but I definitely
literally,
love
I
pickled
just get like a
everything.
jar. If I'm being lazy, I'll just get a jar that the hot and sweet banana peppers are in.
Yeah.
After the banana peppers are done, throw the
Fuck
damn
yeah.
watermelon rind in there.
I've been kind of jonesing
That's it.
pickled eggs lately, and I've like was
delicious.
thinking about doing that because I have pickled cauliflower right now that I'm like, let me just plop an egg in this one. You
Oh
know,
fuck yeah! I have so many.
I've wanted to pickle something for so long, and I never have. If it's as easy as just
It's
eating,
so easy.
Easiest thing in the
eating
world.
banana peppers and then
Yeah.
putting more stuff in
If
them.
you can, yeah. I mean, but making a pickle brine is like, especially a quick pickle brine, is so fucking easy. Like
Alright.
you can even simple white vinegar, a little bit of sugar, whatever seasonings you want, boil it, fucking. And water too, of course. But
You see, Ben, Big Pickle's been lying to you because all you really need to do is when you empty the pickles out of a pickle jar, you can just throw cucumbers in that and get more
fuck
pickles.
yeah, you can.
Put whatever you want.
Big
you like
Pickle been
pickled
lying
eggs?
to you.
Yeah.
Pickles lying to me.
fucking-
Fudge companies are lying to me.
Yeah, I have so many pickled eggs downstairs, and most of the brine just came from old jars of pickles because we go through pickles like some bitch
I've been
around
dumping
here.
that stuff in the sink
No,
for
no.
way
Ooh,
too
you
long.
don't
Wow.
just what? What?
Yeah,
Brine,
I'm sorry.
do
I
it.
know.
Also, get yourself some chicken thighs
Yeah.
and pop those in there and brine a chicken thigh and then fry it.
But also don't put pickles in after that point.
That's true.
That's when you dump it.
Yeah.
That's the
After the
point.
chicken's been in it, then
You put
dump it.
eggs,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Yeah.
then you
Done.
put thighs, and then you
You're a
dump
coward.
it. No, you put cucumbers, and then pickles, and then a thigh. You know what? This is multi-use. You know, reduce, reuse, recycle,
Also,
guys.
one thing
Right.
that I strongly urge is if you do pickle some peppers or something like that, put a damn hot dog in there.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
you
okay.
talked about it.
It's
'Cause we
delicious.
yeah.
But
We
do I
used to
grill the hot dog?
No.
No. Well, they're already fully cooked.
Yeah.
So here's what you do. This is what we used to do is get my parents used to get banana peppers, right? Cut the tops off them, jam them full of sauerkraut, pickle them, put them in a tall, quart jar, and then you could fit like 6 of them in the jar. But then in the middle,
They're hot dog guy.
that's where the hot dog
I almost
goes.
was hoping, because I remember you telling this story before. Like, you've talked about
That's
this.
where the hot dog goes.
I feel like a hot dog should go inside. A hot dog should go inside those peppers, like the long boys.
You could do that
And
too.
then that sounds bomb, guys.
But then where's the kraut going to go?
Around it. It's gonna
Do
be
a little shoulder dip. Do a little
gonna be a
sultry,
bl-
a little
it's gonna-
sultry
It's
shoulder
gonna
dip.
sexy shimmy its way
She
around.
goes, ooh, go around.
It's gonna be a
Cocktail brand.
blanket for the hot dog and the peppers.
I'm on board for all this. Hot dog kimchi, guys. TM.
Boom.
So many great
This is. You didn't realize we were going straight into culinary innovation corner,
man.
Yeah.
but we are. Okay.
All our ideas have been building up. We haven't.
Yeah.
We're bursting at the seams.
We didn't plan this, but it's moist meats is the theme of snacks today.
Yeah.
We've got one very wet meat, and I also
Look
have,
at the drips.
Oh, wait, because
Yeah.
not
Dump it
only
into my
is
beer.
it
You dump it in my mouth.
not only is it Sasquatch weekend,
Yeah.
but it's also ham salad
Oh!
weekend.
Shit. We here.
Yep. There's a little place by my house, Portman's. Shout out to those guys. And I've never had this stuff before.
I should
so
have brought crackers.
You never
for
I have crackers.
Oh, you brought
You've
crackers.
never had
Oh,
ham
dang.
salad?
Oh,
Like,
you're in
never
for a
had ham
treat.
salad.
God damn, I love
But
ham
I'm
salad.
a huge fan of mayonnaise-based salads, which I'm assuming that's what this is.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
So, we've got some
And ham.
entertaining crackers here to...
Entertain
Those are
me.
the crackers that your mom gets mad if you eat before company comes.
Right. She's like, because she fully expects you to put something on those crackers, and if you're just shoveling them in your face because you're having a snack,
Yeah.
like she's mad.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
I am about. Listen, I just poured a doppelbock. I've got ham salad to eat.
Ham salad chaser
I am
here for
fucking
ya.
with this.
You've had pickle already in you.
All right, I'm interested because I make a lot of ham salad. I have
I'm curious to see how this would compare to yours.
yeah. Let's see.
Talk me through it, dude. I don't know. I haven't really had it.
It's a good ham salad.
Yeah.
It is. I would say less salty than mine. A little
Yeah,
sweeter,
well-
less salty. Mine's a little bit brinier and a little saltier. Mine's also a little more coarse textured.
I would like a coarser...
I like this
salad.
I like this. Mine's spreadable, but mine is a little bit more coarse textured.
Big chunks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say big, not necessarily big chunks, but it's just maybe less mayo in mine.
Okay.
So it makes it a little bit more.
I
coarse.
get you.
Here's the difference. They clearly use sweet pickle relish,
Yes, obviously.
and I use minced up gherkins.
Yeah. I was gonna say, when you, I'm just imagining you, like cutting up this, or do you literally just put it in a blender and you're just like, let me put the entire fucking ham in
Food
this?
processor. So I take the leftover ham, I cube it up, I put it in the food processor,
Okay.
Pulse.
and I pulse it. Yep.
Pulse.
Yep.
Yeah, this is sweeter. It's still very good. Mine also, I like a little raw onion, and I do
that would be nice.
garlic powder in mine too.
That does
So
sound
mine's a little more savory, a little less sweet, but that's a nice ham
All
salad.
right, great.
To come back to pickles, I also think it would be like a pickled red pepper.
Yeah, a little pimento situation would be lovely in that.
Yeah.
I just started shopping at BJ's, big like Costco, Sam's Club. So I have jars of pickles in my pantry now that you could put a rotisserie chicken into. So I'm really excited
It's
about
like a
the
turducken,
possibilities.
but one of the intermediate animals is actually a pickle.
Like the jars are so big you can't even reach the bottom, which kind of defeats the purpose. But whatever.
Can't reach the bottom because there's too much in there.
I just
Can't
seen
reach
a
the bottom because your
fistful.
arm. You literally can't put your entire arm. It's 4 feet deep.
If I can't put my whole up to my elbow in it, I don't want it.
If I can't get elbow deep in this pickle jar.
It's a rotisserie chicken stuffed with a pheasant, stuffed with a hot dog.
Always a hot dog.
Guys,
Hidden hot dog.
ham salad
dog.
and doppelbock, fuck me
Yeah, man.
sideways.
Does this house?
You know what
and
I
that
think
ham
would be a
salad.
fun tradition to start doing is for Thanksgiving, just like hide a hot dog inside.
You're going to make Brian choke.
Well, hold on. It wasn't even the phrase. It was your hand gesture.
Yeah.
You did one of these, and I know you guys can't see us at home, but it was
It was
like if you were inseminating a cow.
yeah.
Right?
It was a real twist in.
Oh.
Like you get that circular motion to just kind of.
Well, that's what makes it go in easier. It's
Right.
that twist.
Right.
Yeah.
It looked like she was artificially inseminating a cow. That's what it looked like to me. Oh boy.
Try not to die over here, guys.
Oh, ham salad. My God.
Oh my God.
So for those of you so your first time with ham salad, what's the prognosis here?
I mean, I feel like the way you described yours, I think I would have a preference. I have a less preference to sweet things than I do something more savory.
Yeah.
Same thing with my sauce. My sauce better be savory, not sweet.
And this is definitely very much on par with if you went and bought grocery store ham salad.
Yeah,
It's good.
Yeah, that's not too different from like Giant Eagle, but I would say it's probably a little better than Walmart.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Walmart ham salad. I mean, you're flirting with disaster, as Molly Hatchet says. All right. So you're going to hear me eating a lot of ham salad for the rest of this episode because I can't control myself around the ham salads.
No, you won't. It will be edited out.
Yeah.
I'll just remove Brian's microphone track.
That's 90% of Steve's editing job is me going and Steve having to edit it out because I am a glutton.
This is going to be the start of moist, wet meat summer.
This is very moist meat,
Moist-
too.
moist
Let's be
boy
real.
summer.
It's
Moist
wet.
and creamy.
Creamy boy summer.
Ew.
All right, let's get into this damn movie, guys, because it was a fucking treasure as far as I'm concerned.
I genuinely was like laughing.
Oh yeah, it's hilarious.
Right.
Like,
I had so much fun with it.
The movie we're talking about is called Bigfoot: the movie from 2015. This movie, I knew of this movie, and I was telling you guys beforehand, I know pretty much everybody who was participated in this movie. And oddly enough, we were watching last night, and Kate was like, how weren't you involved in this? And it was when we lived in Wisconsin. But I do remember a lot of my friends and stuff on Facebook, posting about it when they were filming it and when they were doing the premiere and all that sort of thing. But it was directed and I think written and produced by Jared Shaw. And Jared is he is actually my ex-girlfriend's, like one of her best friend's older brothers. So I've met Jared on many occasions. He gets a little bit older than me, but went to the same high school and, is, literally
the Kevin
grew
Bacon
up 5
situation
minutes
is
from here.
like legit, like this entire movie.
Does he have a rat tail in real life?
He does not. I think he may have made it. Now, it might have been real. I'm not sure, but if he did, he did it for the movie, I believe, because I did not know him to have a rat tail. So the stars of this movie are Jared Shaw, Nate McGill plays. So Jared Shaw plays Burl, who is kind of the exterminator guy in the movie. Nate McGill, who plays kind of the I would say the romantic male lead.
Yeah.
He's the one who has
Definitely.
the he's kind of the straight
He was
man
the
a little bit.
heartthrob, if there was one in this
Yeah.
movie.
Yes. So he
Did you find him to be a hard little bit?
he grew up right down by Mario's Giant Eagle.
You guys playing the crick together?
No, but his younger brother, and I did play sports together growing up.
Okay.
But KJ is shout out. I'm sure KJ is listening right now. And then the big kind of star power, I'll say, in this movie. Two people. One is Curt Wootton. If you live in Pittsburgh, you probably know Curt. He is Pittsburgh Dad.
Yeah.
Which is a very well-known local. He does a character called Pittsburgh Dad that's very popular amongst. I mean, listen, the guy's got Iron City sponsorships, Turner Iced Tea sponsorships. I mean, that's pretty much the most
It's the dream.
Yeah. Very genuinely fucking hilarious guy.
Yes, yes.
And then Joni Dodds. I don't know if you guys. So she was the female romantic lead of.
She looked
of
really
Dale.
familiar.
The bartender.
I was trying to
Yes, the
figure out.
bartender.
I'm like, have I just seen her around the city,
It's
or
possible.
is she
So,
like
couple things.
more popular?
She
Like,
is. She was on a season
America's
of
Top Model.
America's Next Top Model.
Wow.
Yeah.
that's
she is-
honestly for me. That might be where I've seen her. Honestly,
Yeah.
I used to watch that all the time.
She was about it. It was 8 or 10 years before this. She was in like 2006
Sounds
or something
about
that
right for me.
season. She was in, and she went pretty far, I believe, in America's Next Top Model. She is also two of my best friends, Eric and Adam Costozo, who you guys have met, I think, as well. She is their cousin as well.
oh my god.
So I have.
Is there any sort of weird like sister cousin type things going on right now?
I
Because
have
like,
been-
this is getting really, really tiny.
I have
the
definitely
genealogy
watched
is wild.
Steeler games at their house with her before,
Okay.
and she is also, and also their dad, Eric and Adam's dad, is Frank the bartender in this movie as well.
Yep.
He's
So-
Yes.
yeah.
So I was reading her IMDb profile as well, just because I was looking at a lot of IMDb profiles for this movie, and it also said that she was married to Chris Sprague.
Who's that?
Well, is that? And I guess
Why does
maybe
that name sound really familiar?
because there's the Sprague Farm Brewery.
Oh, up in Erie.
Yeah.
Towards Erie.
that would probably be the son, if anything. you
Yeah,
know
and
what
I was
mean?
wondering if maybe that's where you may have like had a run in with her at all, just
No,
because.
I mean I just knew Minnie. I like met Minnie, and I'm forgetting the male owner's name. Like, but I've like only like met them and gotten a tour up there. But
Yeah.
I actually got one of the coolest pint glasses that the day that it broke, I got so upset. But it was like a glass, like milk jug looking thing that I would like keep in my locker at Southern Tier when I worked there. And I would like, and then at one point I dropped it because I'm a drunk piece of shit sometimes. And I couldn't, and I was like sad, you know.
We
what I
all
mean?
got butterfingers
But
sometimes.
that's such a cool spot. But like, I
Drunken
mean, I think they do a lot of other stuff. I mean, if they're still active, I could see them doing events out there. But the guy, I'm really forgetting the male owner's name, but he does like wood carving stuff too.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Yeah,
like
I
he does
remember they
like
used
crazy
to do
shit.
have stuff on display up there that he did as well. But yeah, this is Yinzer. No, this is not just Yinzer, Pittsburgh. This is like Beaver, Lawrence County specifically,
different degree, yeah, it's-
which is right. I mean, every location on this, I know the location and have been there. And I'm extremely familiar with it, which we'll get into it in a little bit more detail. But you also get Jim Krenn, who has a quick cameo as the doctor. For those of you Yinzers, you know Jim Krenn and Randy Bauman were the two guys that were very famous hosts of the WDV morning show, which is like local, rock radio.
Yeah.
They would do a bunch of like really, I mean, till to this day, I remember downloading on Napster like WDV comedy bits where they would do like the like the Yinzer prom place pants and they pants and that pants and that and
I
all
totally
those
felt like
different
with
sketches.
his character, you kind of had to go into it being like, this is such a satirical like movie that is supposed to be funny, because he was so awkward that if you thought at all that he was being serious, you're like, he's either a bad actor or something like that. Whereas like if you're like, no, he's just purposefully being really awkward right now. It was fucking hilarious.
This was 2015. They probably shot it in like 2014. This was very much, it is a take on or like a spoof of an action horror movie kind of thing. Before, like, I would say kind of before that became like a really, really common thing, actually.
Yeah.
So
I feel like it's interesting because like just watching it, is a lot of the film feels purposely, I don't want to say bad, but it's purposely
Campy.
Campy. Yeah. And it feels like they really knew what their budget was and how far their budget could go.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look, like, so many of the interior scenes are like 1, maybe 2 lights.
Yeah.
There's harsh shadows everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
If you go on the IMDb, they have the camera that they filmed on listed, and it's a camera that was 10 years old when they would have filmed it.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
So it's just like, it is like, they had to have known like how far their budget stretched.
I'm sure they did.
So-
This was like a 0, but like I said, that scene, there's a couple scenes of them in the graveyard, at the memorial service, and then later on that graveyard is on the road my parents live on. Literally, they walk past it every day when they go on their like evening walks.
But
It's
I love
Lilyville Church of God, right in like Ellwood City, or Ellwood City, Farmville area, and in the background is my friend Adam. Like, he literally texted me last night, said, "You want to go golfing tomorrow?" I was like, "I can't, I'm busy." And I just sent a picture of the still image of him in the background. Literally in the background's like one of our substitute teachers. My ex-girlfriend's mom is in the back of this. Like, that
would have
scene,
been so
I know
much fun.
everybody in
You
that
know
back
what
scene.
I like love, and again we'll probably dive more into it, but I love like in all of the scenes in the cemetery is like you could tell purposefully there is no way anyone would ever put a plot right there, but they're like, okay, yeah, you guys can hang out here and do it, but you got to do it over here on the hill.
No,
Yeah.
there are literally plots there.
No, I mean like on that side of that hill though.
They're all right along the side of that hill too.
Oh,
Yeah,
I literally just look so awkward at first. Like,
No,
we
there
can
are
dive
literally
later.
graves all along there.
Oh my
not
God.
joking, and not literally. That graveyard. People used to, and when I say people, I mean me. We used to go park up in the woods behind that graveyard. And that was like a makeout spot back in the day for people in our high school. So it's literally right up the road from my parents' house.
If you're spooky but want to get a little romantic, let's go.
Yeah.
It was known as HJ Graveyard.
It was that literally the one spot that the one house where where he pulls up in front of with the exterminator van, like the first one, that is my friend Eric's house. Like he had just bought it at that point. He still lives there.
I'm waiting for you to say that the slutty girl was indeed slutty in real life. Like, she was actually.
I cannot vouch either way. I do not know her well enough to know that. I just remember when she got on America's Next Top Model, because we'd hung around with her before. Like I said, she'd come to like Steeler like playoff parties because Eric and Adam, my friends, that their dad is the bartender in it. And their moms, I think in the background, a couple of shots, they're like the most diehard Steeler fans in the world. So whenever we have like a playoff game or whatever, the party was always at their house. We'd always go watch the Steelers. They also were like one of the first families I knew that had like a giant plasma screen TV. So we would go over to their house to watch it. And she was over there a few times, and she, nice enough, whatever. And then everybody was like, I remember when they were like, "Oh yeah, our cousin is on America's Next Top Model." We're like, "Who?" They were like, "Joni," and we were like, "What?" Like that was just it blew us away at the time.
That's funny.
Because she was just like just normal, and all of a sudden she's on America's Next Top Model. We were like, what the fuck?
And we're talking
She's
about
the one going in there and like learning from Tyler. She's like,
and she did like
this.
if I recall, she did like super well on it.
She's
like
so
went
authentic,
really
She's
far
super
on it.
cute.
and we're
too,
talking
so.
about the brunette now, right?
No,
No,
we're talking
no.
still about the
It's
blonde.
blonde.
The
But you were
bartender.
talking about
Yeah.
the brunette, I think, when you were talking about the slutty girl.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yes.
I
I
didn't
know
call her
her.
slutty. I just like she was a complete cunt. Is really actually
Well, that was-
like
that's what
I feel like her IMDb should be like the cunt.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know her. I don't know who she is. But that bar, which I may have mentioned already, that bar.
Is it a real place?
So there are two bars that they are in this movie. One of them is the Hazel Manor, which is still right up in Ellwood City, across the bridge on the north side of Ellwood. Past the McDonald's, cross the bridge, go there. Hazel Manor's on the right hand side. So I have been in the Hazel Manor. Those carpeted walls.
I want that
have,
T-shirt now. Like,
Yeah.
I need a Hazel Manor T-shirt.
I have
Right?
I have
Hey,
ran my
Steve,
hands
on
across
it.
the
Let's
across
go.
the carpeted
But
wall
he could
many
just
times.
go to Hazel Manor and get one.
wait, did you say? I thought it was like renamed though. Like I thought
No,
that
no,
was,
no.
That,
So
that
two different
Hazel
places.
Manor is like still Hazel Manor.
Hazel Manor's still
Okay.
there. Yep.
Well, if they don't, then man,
Yeah.
come on. And then like a little
Hazel
Holidays
Manor's
Forever.
still cranking. It's definitely up there. The other bar, and the bar they go to in the scene where they go to get the explosive tip arrows from,
Yeah.
two great references there. That is a place that at the time was called Big Dogs. It's right on Main Street in Ellwood City. We used to go to Big Dogs for wings every single week.
But that's the place they're supposed to be in Pittsburgh, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But no, it's in Ellwood City.
I was almost gonna. I was like, I thought I missed it. I was like, where in Pittsburgh did they go? Because that would be even better.
Right on Main Street in Ellwood City. The place now is called like the Main Street Bar and Grill or something like that. But and it was called like Pasquale's before that. But everyone still calls it Big Dogs who lives around here because it was Big Dogs forever. So that place is, I mean,
you still have dance-offs there these days?
I've been, I mean, they do have bands playing there.
That looked like so much fun. It's like my dream.
I've been shamefully drunk at Big Dogs
I've
many
watched
times.
you dance at Hot Farm. I know you're actually very serious.
Yes, I am.
And then the third place, which is the place where Pittsburgh Dad character Curt, what's his name in the movie?
Chuck.
Where Chuck picks up the girl at the touch screen
with the
jukebox.
She is like she did have the big boobs in this movie. Yes.
And I believe, and I'm not 100% sure on this, I believe she is an adult entertainer or dancer of some sort, but I don't know her personally either. But
okay.
I'm just saying. My point is,
you don't know.
my point is, I don't know for sure that, but I believe that is the case. She, or that place is the Oak Grove, which has the best wings in Western Pennsylvania. And that is right down in like the Frisco area, right outside Ellwood City as well. And my buddy's brother, I do remember in there one time getting kicked out because he peed on the wall right by that touch tunes.
Are they open on Sundays?
They probably are.
Yeah, let's fucking go.
My parents go down for wings there once a week.
Right.
My one comment about Chuck, because we talked about him, was like I was hoping that progressively throughout the movie that his spit cup would get bigger, but it just kind of went back and forth. You know,
it was just whatever was on hand.
He had the gallon jug. I was just like, this is fucking ridiculous at this point. Like,
I also need to ask, and I was texting Eric and Adam last night. I don't think Eric's in it, but his wife is in it at one point. And I wanted to text him, whose truck is that? Because that truck fucking rules. It's the coolest truck ever. But we were talking about, I think, probably the biggest budget item. Although the Bigfoot costume was pretty damn good.
I was going to say that was like
I've watched so many movies that are not nearly as good as that in terms of the
It
costume.
wasn't bad. Like the face was really good.
Yeah.
Kind of slimy and
I'm not
like
speaking
wet
from
looking.
like a professional perspective. Like,
Well, we will weigh on your take on it.
All right. Thank you. I just want mine,
We did invite you here for your professional Bigfoot knowledge here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm here to be a Sasquatch advocate.
But the Donnie Iris movie, or the Donnie Iris song, is probably the thing they spent the most money on in the entire movie.
Possibly. Either they spent the most or they spent nothing.
That's true.
Because, like you mentioned, so Jim Krenn and Randy Ballman are in this, and Curt Wootton really got his start doing the Pittsburgh Dad character on DVE.
Yeah.
So, like, he has all these connections to people, and it's very possible that Donnie just donated the licensing rights or charged
He might be a huge Bigfoot fan, too. Yeah. We don't know this.
He might be.
Well, he is a good dude. Everyone in Pittsburgh knows Donnie Iris rules. He's a good guy. So he might have, they caught him down there after a show at Butler County Fairgrounds. They said, hey, can we get the rights to the movie? He said, yeah, sure, whatever.
They made him
signed on the spot.
Yeah, like he might have just been getting drunk at like Kelly's.
Yeah.
And they made him like, and he just signed
Here,
something.
sign this, man.
Yeah. He just signed it over.
He just thinks he's signing his autograph, but he's signing his life away at that point. I own you now, bro.
I mean, this is literally the most Beaver County. Like, there are jokes in here that only people that live within 15 minutes of here would think is funny.
Fashion
when
bugs?
he's the fashion bugs. Hey, your sister used to work down on Fashion Bugs.
Yeah.
One time, my mom still tells this story. We were down. They're talking about the Fashion Bug in the plaza, right down in Ellwood, right where Mario's Giant Eagle is. And one time, my mom had a panic attack because I hid in one of
in the carousel,
at Fashion Bug, and she couldn't find me and was panicking. And then I got reamed out when she found me.
I did that to my mom at the Fashion Bugs in Rochester.
I loved her this
it's so funny if there's two Fashion Bugs within 15 minutes of each other.
I loved her this entire episode how much your yinz accent is actually coming out.
Oh, yeah.
How
do you say Fashion
I don't know if he's doing it like on purpose.
No. You know the thing, too? I'm like, it's progressively getting more.
Listeners at home should have to drink every time a really big Pittsburgh
How many
accent
times do we say yinz?
Oh, yeah.
This is a drinking episode, guys. It's a game. Let's go.
Yeah.
I do want, before we get into the actual meat and potatoes of this movie and talk about the suit and stuff, Ben, tell us your level of expertise around Bigfoot, aka Sasquatch, aka Yeti, and tell us where that love comes from, and why are you qualified to be an expert?
Why am I qualified to even be here? I've thought about this a lot. I'm going to try and walk a very fine line between not sounding like a crazy, like conspiracy theorist Sasquatch guy, and just trying to like say what's quote unquote like understood to be real and understood to be like what Sasquatch is supposed to do.
How do us what's in your heart, too, Ben,
okay, I'll tell you what's all right. Fine. I have heard, so obviously Bigfoot really, really popular in the right like genre of people. I mean, there's a million podcasts about Bigfoot. There's one in particular that I listen to, Sasquatch Chronicles. There's 900 episodes.
What the fuck?
Yeah, most episodes have 2 people talking for each one. Those people have nothing to gain from this. They've seen some weird fucking shit out there. And we're talking about guys that have like, they're telling their story, they're crying. They're saying, I pissed my pants. I don't know what I saw. I can't, monsters aren't supposed to be real, but what I saw it. I'm not making this up. It really happened. And those kind of stories just freaking move me.
Yeah.
I just love it. I can't explain.
I love your passion so much right now. Like, I
can't debate anyone about it because it sounds ridiculous. You know, it can't be real. Like, there's no animal out there that's smarter than all of us that is just out there being a big old monkey and just can't be seen in real life. That doesn't make sense.
Right.
But people have seen stuff, and they're either all crazy pathological liars that are, you know, in just for attention, and maybe some of them are, but if just one person is just like, man, that's what I saw. I'm not lying. It's what I saw. Then it's something weird. And I just love I love that aspect of it.
I mean, we talk about like we haven't explored the depths of the ocean, but have we explored all of the depths of the forest? You know, I'm here for it. I'm actually encouraging this right now. And
there's two like really big schools of thought that Bigfoot is like, he's a flesh and blood animal. He's an undiscovered primate. And there's other end of the spectrum that Bigfoot is something else. He's like from outer
suburban
space.
Sasquatch.
Yes, literally. Like there's people that believe that
he's a mystical.
He comes in from another dimension, does stuff, bebops on out of here.
Oh yeah,
you know?
Does stuff.
Does some stuff.
And also, like, if you've seen enough Bigfoot movies, they typically do some stuff.
He does things and stuff.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of weird, creepy stuff that Bigfoot does in these movies.
Takes forest brides, as we've discussed.
Yeah.
There's a huge, like, in Bigfoot movies, like a big sex thing that always ends up coming in every time.
I personally like the theory of that it's actually aliens who
do too.
Beam Bigfoot in to fuck with us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like because obviously they're going to be way far advanced from us.
Sure.
If they figured out how to get here, then they probably also figure out how to go to other dimensions.
Yeah.
And just from time to time, they just beam something in just to fuck with people, and then it disappears.
Yeah.
And,
And
like,
that's
you can't
why
prove
the
it.
Mothman exists.
Yeah.
And Men in Black and all that sort of stuff live in that same. And then you get into slash fiction of Bigfoot and Mothman fucking each other. And then that's where I
right now, I'm just waiting for the dating app where I could be Bigfoot's bride. Like, I want to find that. Like,
You want to be a forest bride?
I want to be a forest bride.
I want to be a forest bride.
Bigfoot, please.
Well, you have to put it in your profile. You have to be like, I enjoy the outdoors.
I enjoy the outdoors.
I like
Aspiring
hairy
forest
men.
bride.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the one, but it was a Bigfoot movie that I watched. You guys didn't do it in your Showdown. Primal
Primal Rage?
Primal Rage, maybe.
Yeah. You suggested that to me, and I was like,
You've seen that one, Steve, haven't you?
No, we just talked about that because it was also a video game with the dinosaurs being.
See, that's where I think Primal Rage. I think of the Super
But
NES game.
that's a movie where she is literally a forest bride, and
Oh.
they
They
he
go to town
he
on her?
consummates the marriage, right?
do you
Yeah.
really call it brideship of sorts if she's like raped? You know,
True.
Like,
True.
Is you saying Bigfoot takes her to Pantan? I don't know. I like it.
Yeah, listen, we all know Bigfoot is. I mean, if Bigfoot hasn't gotten Me Too'd, he's gonna it's gonna happen.
It's gonna hit the cryptid scene.
Yeah,
real
it's
fast,
gonna
real
happen.
soon.
If it
Is
hasn't
Bigfoot
happened.
too problematic for cryptozoologists?
That's a BuzzFeed article for sure. Top 14 reasons why Bigfoot is too problematic for cryptozoology.
Yeah,
Mothman
so
says moth too.
I love listening about it. I was listening to a podcast on the way up here, and it was just people just telling their stories. And it's just fun. You know,
Yeah.
I'm not to the point. I will never go in the woods looking for Sasquatch. I'm not going to waste my time doing that.
Oh, I was gonna ask if you want to go on a hike soon.
And okay, so yeah, Jen and I have gone places where people have had like reports of seeing like weird
knew
stuff
it.
in the woods. Yeah. But you can take that to a whole nother level. And there's people that go out there, not so much around where we live, but other parts of the country. They will knock on trees. They will howl. They will hoop or woot in the woods.
What did they call it on your movie?
They definitely called it whooping.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they had like he had a term for it, which
He
the
was-
guy who directed that movie,
Yeah.
I am imagining, is the host of the podcast you're talking about.
Maybe no.
He might be, 'cause he
No,
does
not
have his
that
own
one. He's a different
podcast.
one, yeah.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
What
the hell's that guy's name? I can't.
Bobcat.
No, not Bobcat.
Oh.
Bryce
It's
Johnson.
Oh,
yeah.
Bryce Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does have a podcast. No, another guy is the host of mine. But I am going to go. Really excited. We're taking a big beer trip to Oregon this summer.
yeah.
And the highlight of that trip is going to be going to the North American Bigfoot Center.
I love it. I love
God.
it so much.
And that was, if you ever, I'm sure you've seen Finding Bigfoot before, that show on Animal Planet.
Yes.
I don't think it runs anymore. But Clint Brockman, that guy, he was one of the
That's
main
a
characters.
made-up name. Clint Brockman.
It's a very strong name.
That could be. That's one of those names that you could just move it around. It could be Brock Clintman, Man Brock Clint. It could be anything. It's made up.
But he's a real Bigfoot person in real life, and there are people that dedicate their lives to this idea. But he runs that museum, so I'm really excited.
That's
to
cool
go there.
shit. Where is that in Oregon, by the way?
Between, because we're going to Bend and Portland, right between the two.
Oh,
somewhere.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm like thinking about this like fall of like some. Yeah, I might
Do
go
it.
back out there probably.
Uh-huh.
But I know.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, one-way trip to Forest Bride Dome.
Oh my God, that's where.
Guys, that's literally
If
what
Meg
I'm
doesn't
actually
come back,
doing.
that's what happens.
Yeah, don't worry for
Don't
me.
look for me. I'm
Don't
fine.
look for
Don't
me.
look for me.
I
I'm
will
not
always
back in
be
an hour.
fine.
Send a banana cream pie in after me because I have found Bigfoot. Yeah, so I would be interested, and you know what, I would venture to say some of the folks who are participating in this movie we probably should have on the podcast at some point. And again, I do understand that I am kind of feeding into this idea that this is just becoming a Bigfoot podcast. I understand I'm enabling.
I mean, we
this
already
behavior.
have to watch the next one when it comes out,
Yeah,
right?
of course,
We
right.
have to.
I
And we have to have
thoroughly
you back.
enjoy
I think
this.
we have to have
We
him
have
back
to.
for this. Yeah.
I thoroughly
I'm
enjoy
saying you
this.
have to.
There's not really that much an option.
Are you not an extra in that next movie? Like,
Oh my God, can you
You
imagine?
probably should. Yeah.
It's probably too late now, right? Yeah, they already
Probably
showed
too-
trailers. and
probably.
stuff.
you might
Dang
they might be able to like somehow like superimpose.
They could at
you
least
into
like put me
yeah.
as like an advisor, like as an like
Yeah,
a
totally.
Sasquatch.
Subject matter
I feel
expert.
like if they didn't, then they're fucking up. You know.
Yep, they missed out.
The thing I love about this is they do a great job of portraying a very specific type of redneck, of like yinz or redneck.
Yes, they did.
Pennsyltuckian.
Yes. Go ahead.
Sorry, I like had to say there. Like, I feel like from working up in Butler County, there is a certain chip on their shoulder, yinzer redneck,
Yeah.
up this way, where they're like, Yinz City folk always think we're dumb and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we saw that. I was like, holy shit, I experienced that. They
Yeah.
literally think that like
Beaver, Butler, Lawrence
Oh my God, they're
County,
so threatened.
even down into even in like Westmoreland. Like, yes, it's a very specific breed of yinzer redneck, and a very specific breed of yinzer redneck sense of humor. I would even go as far as to say, and they nailed it pretty hard. Actually, I caught this too. Well, actually, no, that's not true. Kate caught this. The police station scene, which the police chief is actually my friend Eric's,
Of course he is.
neighbor. In the background, when they are early on in the police station, is a map of Franklin Township, which is where my parents live in Palm Bell. It's like this little tiny, but it was funny. They actually put a lot of detail into this, but
I just figured the map was there already.
There's only like 4 people who would go, "Oh, Franklin Township, I know where that is." You know.
Well, they also like later on in the film and this is good production value for anybody making an independent film. Anytime you can include any sort of emergency vehicle, that immediately boosts your production value rating.
Oh, for sure.
And they included a fire truck, I believe, from Swickley, and then they had a Franklin Township police cruiser, and then maybe an ambulance. Yeah, they had an ambulance. Yeah. So like that's triple boost.
I guarantee. I mean, North Swickley volunteer fire department's right up the street. I just sent them my check donation the other day, and also I'm pretty sure I know. So Eric's, I think, uncle or something like that is a Franklin Township cop or was.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that's whose car it probably was.
Fair enough.
So yeah, this is like. When I grew up, I think there was only one cop in Franklin Township.
Yeah.
Like the municipal building's right up by my parents' house and right between my parents and my grandparents' house. And I think they only have 2 cop cars.
Yeah.
So basically, this movie is showing that this area is actually a police zone. You know, it's a police station.
Well, the guy. I'll put it this way: the guy who used to be one of the Franklin Township cop was this guy named Alfie, and he used to yell at us for yelling swear words at the high school basketball games. He'd be like, "Hey, watch your mouth." We'd be like, "Shut the fuck up, Alfie."
Good times.
He was this little squirrely little guy. He was a super sweet guy, but he would say something. He would be like,
"Hey,
"Hey,"
apparently."
Yeah,
right?
he'd be like, "Hey guys, keep it down up there." We'd be like, "Shut your fucking mouth, Alfie."
Okay, all right, I will.
You guys are just
You're
big
right.
bullies. Is basically what I'm getting out of this
like
now.
nobody took Alfie seriously. When I was
Poor sweet Alfie.
Yeah. I didn't write a ton about the plot. Does everybody have anything notes-wise about the plot?
Not terribly, no. I think it's
Bigfoot's
pretty
in
straight.
town.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, and like literally it lays everything out within the first 10 minutes of Bigfoot
I
killed.
think he has a lot.
I don't know. I mean, I can't describe it like these guys do.
Well, we'll get into it a little bit. I mean, like Steve said, there's not an enormous amount of. I mean, the plot it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it starts with you have 3 friends. You have Curt Wootton, Chuck, I forget the other guy's name.
Daryl.
Well,
the guy dies.
Daryl dies.
Yeah.
No, I forget the other guy's name.
Oh, Jared's character.
Is it start with a B like
heartthrob.
Barrel?
No, not Burl.
Rat tail. Yeah.
No, not Burl. No. When you start the movie. Yeah, the heartthrob. Whoever, I forget who his name, but Burl comes in later.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have 3 of them. They're listening to Donnie Iris. They're coming home.
Donnie Iris.
Getting some lukewarm beers.
Oh, Dale.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Dale.
That was the confusing thing. There was Daryl and Dale.
Yeah. But Bigfoot just comes out of nowhere, kills Daryl as they're having lukewarm beers.
I love the splat. Like I think it was great splat.
Good splat.
I had that written down.
Yeah. and then that just cements the story because Chuck says very clearly, "You kill one of our friends, we kill you." We said that since 2nd grade.
There's so many good little lines.
Yeah.
Like I will say, and I like I said, I'm a little biased, but this is a pretty genuinely well-written script. Like there's a lot of good, funny dialogue.
It could have been really awkward and uncomfortable, but I think that was like relegated to a very specific couple. Like Cop was a little awkward. Obviously, Doctor was a little awkward.
Yeah, he's
but
not
like,
a professional actor at all.
There was maybe only like, and even the bartender, what do you say, like Laura, was that her name or something like that? She was a little awkward at times, but like everyone else, I felt a little bit more fluid than a very small scale production like this was.
The 3 main guys had really good chemistry.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It honestly felt like watching early Letterkenny, even though it has nothing.
I swear to God, dude.
When they were doing the shot stuff too, I feel like when they were in the bar, I was like, I felt the same way.
Right here, my notes. This is supernatural yinzer Letterkenny.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's so many little Letterkenny things before Letterkenny was a thing, and it's not Canadian, but also just the fact that it's so small town and insular, and we only get a lot of the jokes to ourselves.
And very dialogue heavy.
Yeah, it's very dialogue.
Yeah.
driven.
I mean, I literally wrote supernatural Yinzer Letterkenny.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like to me.
I got to get into Letterkenny. Everyone tells me
It's very funny.
yeah.
I
You'll
just
enjoy
started
it.
watching
I
this
don't-
weekend. It's
I
funny.
don't love like the last couple seasons, like when they moved officially to Hulu. I feel like it's kind of like how I felt about when Arrested Development came back, where it felt less natural, and then it was just recycled jokes.
Yeah.
Whereas early Letterkenny, like up until at least a few seasons until they got on Hulu, and then obviously Arrested Development, like early on, it's like it was more natural in the moment. Like sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've only watched like 5 episodes.
It's
I
fun.
just started
So
watching
fun.
it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny. There are probably 20 lines that I laughed out loud at in this movie. The one that like I cackled at was near the end, and most of them are given to the character of Chuck, the Pittsburgh Dad guy.
Right. Yeah.
He's clearly like the most, and Jared's really good at it too.
Do you think they did improv in this at all?
I think they
There
had
was
to
definitely
some,
some
It
improv
felt
there.
like that.
Yeah.
Because I think Jared does have an improv background a little bit too, and they were just really, like I said, to improv at that level, they have to have some chemistry together, and they did have a lot of it. I really like the idea of where he said he was talking about Daryl. He got ate up. All of them, even his dong. He's like, if you get your dong, he talks about how if you get your dong eaten, you go to heaven. You don't have a dong. Like they're just all very juvenile
Yeah,
nonsense.
that's exactly how you would have talked at that time.
Yeah.
You know?
And the fucking, I mean,
They're all our age.
I know,
You know what
okay,
I mean?
right.
All our
the
age.
but the outfits, I mean, even go as far as to like he actually had jeans on that had a fucking skull like mark in the back pocket and stuff. Like there's a lot of detail involved there.
I remember Googling like when acid wash stuff was so popular, and it was right, like right in the 80s.
Yeah.
This was definitely one of those things where it was obviously meant to. Did they come out and say what year it was supposed to take place in?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out.
I don't think they did.
I think it was one of those ambiguous kind of like it follows type of
Right.
situations where it could have happened. I think the joke is it probably happened later than you think it did.
Right.
But because they're a bunch of backward ass yinzers, they still think like 1991 was the fucking peak of
Right.
culture, but it actually was probably like 97 or
I
something.
kind of honestly just presumed it was like present time for that period, and they just still wore all
Yeah,
of those things.
that was his
You know
own
what I mean?
fashion.
Like
I think
I
that was
kind
the
of
joke a little
Yeah.
bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the heartthrob guy, that's how I'm referring to him because
Yeah.
I don't know his name.
Yeah.
But he was dressed way more like present day. Like he was just wearing.
Yeah, he almost had like
Flannel shirt.
something that looked like it would be like a Von Dutch hat on
Yeah.
or
Right.
something like that.
But at
Right.
the same time, like just thinking about it, I didn't really take note of it, but thinking about it now, like nobody really uses a cell phone
Oh,
at
No.
any point.
they were definitely conscious of the fact that they wanted it to feel like early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, but it could have been at any point. There clearly was cars. There were cars that were
Right.
way older
Yeah.
in the movie and stuff.
That's what I love
way,
about-
way newer.
That's what I love about this podcast. You guys make me I look at movies in a whole new way after listening to you guys talk.
Yeah, this is not a movie that really had a ton of. Yeah, I mean, we're obviously digging a little deeper than they probably were when they were writing it. But,
Right.
They didn't even know they did this. They're like, oh, fuck, really? All right.
but it was overall like they nailed the tone. I think it was pretty
Oh, yeah, yeah.
consistent.
Yeah. And like we talked about, like there's a bunch of other just like small things going on with like the lighting and the camera, and it looks very purposely done, or at least knowingly done, in that like
Super low
we don't
budget.
we don't have it. The only one thing that really bothered me about the way the production and everything was actually in the edit, in the way the background music is just too loud. And it always feels
I
like
agree.
characters are fucking screaming over the soundtrack.
I did notice that a little bit. There were times when it felt loud. Yeah.
One
Yeah.
note that I felt though is like, and maybe it plays into you saying that it's too loud, is that it struck me so much that like how different each song was. Like
Yeah.
there was no fluidity to
No,
like
not at all.
literally if
Some of them
everyone
were
came in
super
and
loud.
said
Uh-huh.
like, hey, this is my favorite song, cool, put it in the movie. That's I feel like more of the vibe versus one person chose the soundscape for this entire
Yeah.
film. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It-
I was waiting for some Clarks. I was disappointed. No
Yeah,
Clarks.
that would've been
going
fun.
on.
You'd think.
Yeah.
You'd think. Even at least like a credit song, maybe, you know?
I did like there was a couple good. I did like the Chuck show. So again, this is supposed to take place in Ellwood City, and he did have a Riverside jersey on, and most of it was in Fombell. So I do take exception because Ellwood City is our crosstown rivals. But another couple favorite lines here. Again, they're mostly all are Chuck, but when he's like, "Stop eating all my friends."
Yeah.
Such a fucking great line. And then right after that, not too long, is after the group of the like they were like Russians or whatever who came in and shot him.
German. I think they were German.
Oh, yeah,
actually,
yeah.
Yeah, the one lady
right.
was German, and then just like the rest of them are.
The two of the three guys in the background are like our brothers that went to my high school. But the main woman, I don't know who she was, but whenever she shoots Chuck with the tranquilizer, and he goes, "Oh, are these ninjas?" Like as he's passing out. That's a fucking great line.
And let's not forget because especially I think it's important to note that Sasquatch isn't here just he's not hanging out, coming from a portal.
Correct.
Out to he was there as part of an exotic animal farm.
Ben, can you stop misgendering the Sasquatch?
You're right.
It's a female Sasquatch.
You're right.
Yeah, they
female.
They do the so the mayor, which I thought he was a guy. Like I thought he was a main. Like I thought he was a local celebrity of some sort, but I couldn't place him. But I don't
place him
think he
either.
was.
He's just a super tall guy.
Yes, really tall, white, very unique looking guy.
Big head, yeah.
Big like a fucking pumpkin. And he
So he looked like a mayor, is like what you're saying.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
he
delivered his
you're like,
lines really well.
I
He looked like a mayor.
Yeah, he was one of my favorite.
I thought he delivered his lines really
He was
well.
angry.
Yeah,
he was just intense all the time.
Kind of evil, like
Yeah.
really good.
I feel like him and the lady who played the German woman, both of them had to probably are just like local actors.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
They probably
That makes
auditioned
sense.
and got the.
They're probably up at the Red Barn Theater there off 19 or off 288. Yeah.
There's another drink.
Yeah, they talk about 288 a couple times.
Saw
like
the
Route
explosion
288.
from 288.
My friend Adam, who's in the background, he texted me about going golfing today, and I just sent him a picture back of a screenshot of him in the background at the.
Yeah.
He plays in a band called 288.
Oh my God.
They're literally playing at Kohler's Brewery this weekend. They played at Kohler's Brewery at Ellwood City.
Oh
Do
my
they
God.
sing exclusively about Bigfoot?
No, but they do
Damn
play
it,
a lot
I
of
don't
like
care
they do
anymore.
play a lot of like Yinz or Clark's covers and stuff like that. Yeah.
Isn't Clark's like a cover band? So it's a cover of a cover band.
No,
like,
Clark's
no.
well, yeah, they're not
Are
a
they
cover
all
band.
original? I thought they were like cover band.
I think they do
Kate and I
covers
met
sometimes.
because I went to a Clark's concert
Okay,
that
wow,
night.
I'm backing up. Okay, feel taxed.
Sounds like somebody's never been to Rib Fest, and I ain't here by it.
Nope.
Drink.
You don't know about Cigarette, Fayette County Fair. But yeah, so it was there's a lot of very much inside jokes here. But yeah, it felt, I mean, remarkably like Letterkenny.
Yeah.
Like the bar scenes
Right.
especially.
Oh, yeah, the
like
bar scenes.
remarkably like
And
Letterkenny.
then there was the one scene where it's after the couple that's at the bar gets killed,
Mhm.
and we talked about how like they brought in all the emergency vehicles.
Yeah.
So the three heroes show up,
Mhm.
and they cross paths with the mayor and his Amish henchmen.
Yeah, I don't know. That was never really explained too
That
much.
wasn't explained either.
Because there is no Amish out here.
No.
Maybe they's Mennonites.
Maybe they's Mennonites.
Maybe they's Mennonites.
Yeah.
Because those definitely are.
Mennonites
Yeah.
for hire.
Or
Yeah.
Yinz Mennonites.
Yeah, he's Mennonites.
The Mennonites put. I mean, they did it. They put all the siding on my house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They-
those two guys specifically. No,
I
I'm
used
just
to work at a PVC factory.
Yeah.
And the Mennonites, they buy a whole bunch of PVC and they side houses with it, and
Oh.
then they bring in all their scraps, and I had to just grind them up, and all their goddamn scraps was full of hay. I was pissed. It's full of hay and spiders. It's
I can't
mad.
tell. Is Steve doing an accent right
He
now?
is.
Or is
I
he
am
just
doing
talking?
I'm doing an accent, but that's a real fucking thing I used to do.
It's a real story.
Yeah. But yeah, so they cross paths with them, and then when the three of them discover Bigfoot poop, and then they just get distracted and they start making fun of how fat Burl's getting. Like that's total Letterkenny, and
Yeah.
two, it's just so like
And they're like slapping his belly.
yeah, he's just slapping his belly.
That was a funny bit. It was a funny bit. That was clearly like Jared definitely wrote that bit. I feel like in any of the other stuff I've seen him do, like those are definitely his bits for sure.
But it just like it flowed so well. They went from investigating Bigfoot to just we're gonna bully our friend because like that's what we do.
Yeah.
some guys died. No big deal. There's Bigfoot poop. Yeah, sure.
Monster on the loose that we've seen,
and they're
people are dead. But also, hey, you getting a little round tummy.
Yeah, this movie was a lot funnier than it had any business being. I feel like.
Yeah,
but.
Wait, did we bring up though the grandma? Like we talked about it before the episode.
Oh, we haven't. Yeah, we didn't mention that.
So
scene.
we're definitely not going to see my scene. But like, I can't stop like thinking about like when I think about this movie, I saw my future in a way, like in that woman.
She seemed like the sweetest grandma.
She's
somebody, but she's a gunslinging lady. You know, she's tough as nails, but she's sweet as fuck. You know,
she's someone's
delicate
grandma.
as fuck.
I'm not sure who. Like she's one of the. I know her.
Is that your grandma?
No, that's not my grandma. But that. My friend Eric and Adam's grandma is in the shot at the graveyard.
Right.
But that woman is. It might have been their other grandma. I don't know, but I know that woman.
It's someone's grandma.
It's someone who I know's grandma.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And like when you watch the credits, it's so full of the same last name over and over again.
That's
just
funny
because
as fuck.
like it's just in the regular credits and like in the Kickstarter, and it's just like you can just tell like so many families.
Yeah,
like,
to paint that scene that real fast, like too, it's like I still think it's hilarious to talk about like the what the other guy was, a Beryl or Bernard? What?
Burl. Yeah.
Burl, not Earl. Burl. Okay, cool, sweet. Yeah, he does. He's like an exterminator, and he goes over to this old woman's house, and then all of a sudden hears a noise. He pulls out a fucking gun from its toolbox.
It's not even just a gun. It's like a 44 Magnum, fucking like dirty, hairy pistol. Yeah.
I was like, is this actually, I wanted to inquire, is this a normal thing? Do you see this with a lot of people who work up these ways? Yeah, like, well, I guess if you're an exterminator, maybe you'd be like worried about, you see something really big, you're like, I'm fucking be prepared.
Just gonna shoot in the face.
So we get the scene where he's like creeping on what's happening, but comes back to find this old lady, probably in her 70s or 80s, with a literal pistol in her hand.
Yeah.
And he's like, what are you doing?
And she's like, I saw you pull your gun. I thought maybe you need some backup.
I thought I could get you your backup.
Yeah.
We've already talked about, we're giving this movie probably a lot more credit than it ever like really intended to get.
Yeah.
But maybe that old lady is a nod to the old lady from Suburban Sasquatch. Maybe that's, you know, like maybe someone else is a fan there and they wanted to. I got a lot of the same vibes from those two.
It seems
Such
like
an
it could be
influential movie.
likely.
It really is.
It does seem likely. It's an influential film.
I'm trying to think of like
True
if there's any other
influence.
possible links that we might have missed. Now I'm just
Missing
like,
links, perhaps you're thinking of?
I was definitely looking at the tits on the like the Sasquatch before we knew it was a female. I was just like,
I was too.
how big are the boobs?
Yeah.
Nope,
This one had more of a
they look more like a
mane.
tough, like
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
Less like full C cup, you know.
Speaking of which, this would be one of the few Sasquatch movies that did we ever see boobs in this movie? I don't think we did.
No,
got
we
close.
almost did.
We
almost
almost
did.
did.
Almost did.
like they show you down Katie's shirt, and then the lady who may or may not be an adult entertainer. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Who's with what's his
with
name?
Chuck.
Chuck.
With Chuck.
Yeah,
And
you think, and there's actually a few really funny lines in there.
Yeah, when he gets cock blocked by
He's gonna get cock blocked by Sasquatch. He's like, she's like on top of him, and they're about to go at it, and then he sees Sasquatch, which I need to ask. I definitely need to ask them. I was literally lolling at the guy. I know him too. I mean, I've literally seen him around Ellwood City. The guy who plays Dan Fetty.
Mm-hmm. And he's not from Cleveland.
No, who is, yeah,
the bully. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
I
him.
need to ask who he is because I've definitely seen that guy probably down at Big Dogs.
Do you think the cockblock from that Bigfoot there was just because she was jealous and she wanted to like? I'm also saying
but
this
it
because
wasn't
after,
Bigfoot. It was Dan Fetty in a Bigfoot mask.
Yeah. Okay.
Remember?
I
Because then he
missed
gets to the
that.
front door. It was just him in the Bigfoot mask.
Okay.
When
He comes down and then he punches him in the balls or whatever.
Yeah, when
Damn.
it's Chuck and Angelina is what
Yeah.
we're talking about.
Yeah. I never knew that was the guy in the mat. I just thought that was Bigfoot.
Yeah, it was
I
Dan. Yeah, Dan Fetty walks past, and then Chuck goes to open the door, and he gets punched right in the balls.
Because he's like, He's like, I know this sounds crazy, but I just saw a Bigfoot and I gotta go shoot him.
Yeah.
he gets the shotgun, he goes and opens the door,
Yeah.
and then
And
it's
that's why
Dan
the guy
Fetty,
was
and he
waiting.
punches him in the
Yeah.
balls, and then
Yeah.
that's when he's like laying
Oh,
on
and
the
that's when they get
living
in the
room
fight in the bar
floor.
too and stuff like that.
Right.
All that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I also like in my mind that was coming from literally this weekend listening to last podcast, like basically Human Z episode where they're like there was the experience where they were trying to crossbreed humans with chimpanzees and stuff like that, and it was like a thing, and I'm like, yeah, maybe we'll do that with Sasquatch. Let's fucking go. Apparently.
That's what we're kind of trying to get done. I'm
Well,
pretty
I always
sure.
thought that in this movie, that's what they were talking about because he talked about
Yes,
like we can breed. They get it like with who? Another human.
I was
Another
waiting for
Sasquatch?
another show. I was waiting for them to cut to them up Living Treasures.
and they just have another Sasquatch that now is really upset, and then the next one's actually a revenge episode or movie. Holy shit, we are now plotting.
We got
this out.
That might also just be the sequel that they
Yeah.
just got done filming.
We got a white tiger, we got llamas, and we got Sasquatch.
yeah.
Because there was one time where the mayor was to the Pittsburgh Dad character. He was like, all right, well, if you like, he offered like some in to him, like some way that, all right, we can make this work.
Yeah.
And that was when I got that vibe that, all right, maybe he's got to like mate with.
That's
Yeah,
what I
like
thought he was
he's
supposed to
yeah.
propose
He's actually
too.
not going to kill them because
Right.
he wants to make them. He's just
When
going
he
to make
had
them
them in the
sex
thing,
slaves.
they were in the basement.
Sex slaves.
They were in the
Flip
Holy
it.
basement.
shit. Flip it.
They were in the basement at Grandma's
Again,
house,
wow, this movie.
and that was when they were like, "Where are we? It looks like we're at Seven Springs."
Yeah.
Because there was a bunch of like,
Bunch of shit on the wall.
yeah.
That's Seven
That's so
Springs.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
But
no.
I thought that's what he was going to propose. That they were going to fuck Sasquatch.
I
Yeah.
do need to come in with my horse girl comment. Barrel's
Horse Girl
house.
Corner. Hold on. Let's insert the audio. Horse Girl Corner.
Barrel's house, right near the door. There is a gorgeous horse, like portrait.
Her horse radar
I'm
started
laughing
going
myself
off.
because
Yeah.
I actively
Her spidey
like,
sense for
saw
horse
that,
art.
and I was like, guys, I gotta bring it up. Like, this is so
Hoofdar.
perfect. It was like the cliche. I feel like if you want a stock horse thing in a very quote unquote country type house,
Yeah, it's like
that
if you
is
went
what
down
you're
to
at.
River, if you went down to the Ellwood Arts and
love
Crafts
your face.
Festival on
So
4th
you're
of
like,
July
yeah,
weekend,
Megan,
I
yeah.
would bet you $1,000 that piece of art was purchased at the Ellwood City Arts and Crafts Festival on 4th of July weekend.
Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe the Golden Dome.
Perhaps. Yeah, this
This movie was hilarious.
it was. I was
I would
genuinely
definitely watch
impressed
again.
by how entertaining and also I think we mentioned already, but the Bigfoot costume, and Ben, this is where we need your expertise.
Yeah.
The Bigfoot costume was way better than it had any business being.
It was.
Yeah.
And I actually was looking at my notes here. I have 3 pages.
Do you possibly have any other Bigfoot costumes that compare better or worse to this one? Just because like we saw Exists, and Exists is kind of
was
almost on
okay.
par.
I would say I think this might have been better than Exist.
I think the Exist one has maybe a little bit more facial animation to
I
it.
agree.
But I think this one does a little bit better with the fur.
It's
so.
more formidable.
Yeah.
I
would
mean, it
agree.
depends from what perspective you're looking at it, actually. If you're speaking from a theatrical point of view.
He just moved his glasses up that he's not fucking wearing.
Yeah, like what you guys are saying is true, but if we're talking about like actual physical accounts of Sasquatch and what they look like, none of these are really close to
But you know what, though?
what is
Listen,
assumed to be true.
Wow, hold the fuck out.
Well, this is the thing: is I don't mean to be devil's advocate here, but I am going to. The famous footage.
Let's talk about it.
What's the name?
Patterson Gimlin.
The
film.
Patterson Gimlin footage.
Yes.
Was really funny because one of the things that people said for years and years and years that where people were trying to affirm it were saying, look how realistic it is. You can actually see the muscles ripple below the fur.
Here we go now. Yep.
But then when the people came out and said that, no, we just made that, it was kind of like, oh, no, that you guys that was confirmation bias.
Right.
All right. Well,
Actually, posture changed completely when I said that.
yes. So there is one person who said it was false. One guy out of the team of there was 2 dudes on that horse that made that film.
Yeah.
Roger Patterson, Bob Gimlin.
Right.
Roger Patterson is dead. Bob Gimlin is still alive. Bob something Hieronymus. He was the one who said we made it up.
Yeah.
Roger Patterson never admitted to that ever in his life. Bob Gimlin still to this day, he's been offered, I think Monster Quest, if you ever guys have seen Monster Quest.
Oh, yeah.
That producer offered him.
He's like a South African guy or British guy or something.
They offered him $100,000 to go onto that show and say that we made it up. And he stands to this day that is 100% real.
But that's opportunity cost. He goes, how much money do I have to make if I stick? Do I want to cash out my chips and take $100,000, or do I want to let this rise the rest of my life? And
Right.
I thought that like this year it was like he came out and like said that or last year like said that it wasn't.
No, that is still like a very coveted thing in like Sasquatch community.
Yeah.
People love that.
Yeah.
And there has been tons and tons of stuff to say like how real it, because if you look at the time, that was around the same era of Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
You compare a Planet of the Apes costume to what that thing is, Planet of the Apes looked like that was bad. That was
rubber. And it was also they had to have the face, they wanted the mouth to move.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Yeah.
So that was like the big thing with Planet of the Apes is they wanted, because but prior to that, like any type of like monster,
This is why I came here, Sasquatch. This is why I'm here, because he said some of this stuff last time he was watching Bigfoot movies, and I am here to set him straight.
yeah. But you know what I'm saying? The Planet of the Apes, they wanted their mouths to, what's the word I'm looking for?
It was the prosthetic. It was a face prosthetic because they just wanted to have that animation, that articulation.
And the rest of them, they had clothes. Like, they were wearing human clothes. So they were supposed to be, like, humanoid, in more humanoid than anything. Yeah. Whereas in the Patterson Gimlet footage, obviously, there's no dialogue. It's just
there's no dialogue.
Just walking.
Yeah. And it depends on how, and I don't know anything about, how they dissect these videos, but from what I've just listened to and watched, there's people that do dissect that video and see way more, because it's been digitally remastered a million times. And I get it that you could probably put extra stuff into there if you really wanted to.
I mean, we've all seen the Jabba.
Yes. But you can first of all, Patty, that's supposed to be the Sasquatch's names.
Oh, I did not know that.
Again, female?
What's
female.
Patty short for? Patricia?
Yeah. Because Patty does have breasts,
Pat, no,
and that's
she's been
one
in the
big
bar
point
for
is too, if you're
20
going to
years.
make a fake Sasquatch
Oh,
costume,
now we're getting
why
hot
give
horny.
it titties? Like, that doesn't make
because
any
it's
sense.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Hey,
Because
guys,
suburban
you know what'd be
Sasquatch.
really funny?
Yeah.
It said boobs.
Let's give this Squatch some titties.
You know what I'm waiting for now is we just need to have a squatch off. Okay, that's gonna be our like 1 year
Squatch off.
anniversary,
Squatch off.
or like our
It's like
Halloween party.
Rochambeau, but it's Sasquatch.
So
Why would you give a Sasquatch titties? Because you're proto furry, like you're way early into furry community.
Yeah.
Because
Whoa.
that makes you hornier.
Right.
That's
which
why.
is why that video sold so well.
Yeah.
Because of the titties.
It was the Pam and Tommy of Sasquatch.
But
films.
there are people out there, and there are videos and review, like, and they'll dissect that thing where there are people that will analyze the gait and say that gait could not be done by a person. There's people that will analyze that video and say that she has a quad rupture on her outside leg.
I don't even know
true.
what that is.
Like, they can see a muscle that's
That's the thing.
misfiring and stuff.
Yeah.
And just
like when Vince McMahon came down during the Royal Rumble and he blew out both his quads.
something like that.
Yeah.
So
Listen.
there's a lot of people. I mean, most Bigfoot people out there truly believe that's real. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I say no chance. No chance that's what.
I'm gonna go with
chance
the
in hell.
cryptic community.
No
I'm gonna
chance
go
in
with real.
Thank you.
Yeah, wow.
No, I know. It is very good. It's very convincing, but it also was shot in like 1968 or something like that.
Right.
On a fucking 16 millimeter like bulk ass camera.
A camera
And
that,
they were
that
out-
was this big and weighed 60 pounds.
Yeah.
And they were out there to do that. Like, that
Do you
was
think they like hollered
that
at her?
was
It's
their
like,
plan.
wait, stop going here. Stop, I need to get this.
Yeah.
That's what I presume
Yeah.
happened.
Listen, it's convincing. I mean, if I was back in 1968, I would have been like, oh yeah, that's a goddamn
Brian
Bigfoot.
doesn't want to believe. I just don't believe.
No,
it.
I
You know,
want
like,
to,
no?
but I am so inherently skeptical. Like I am a skeptic in nature. I want to believe, but I am a skeptic by nature. So.
You know, I think for me, it's like an active choice to choose to believe. I'm like,
I agree.
There's definitely evidence, I think, both ways, and I'm just like, no, I love cryptid stories. I fucking
do,
love
but
them.
of all
like,
the cryptids, there are other things that I want to believe in more. Maybe
like what?
Like I love like
Science.
Mothman shit. I'm Mothman. Yeah,
Science.
Just anything that touches
Mothman's so
the
fun,
kind of
yeah.
weird multiverse. I love.
See,
a lot.
that's
Which I'm
where
also going to add to that I sent Steve and Brian an eBay auction
I
that I
wanted
did
to be-
not buy.
Oh, it was so
but
rad,
it was a Furby that was designed as Mothman. And I was like, tell me a reason not to buy
Well, and
this
Steve,
right now.
Steve, you got to say your response was very good.
Oh yeah, Meg says, "Tell me a reason not to buy this," and I said, "Pittsburgh has enough bridge problems."
Which because we consistently have bridges collapsing already.
all the time.
That's our fun thing.
Poles and bridges collapsing.
Yeah, it was a
oh
very
my
good bit.
God. It was perfect.
Yeah.
Right on,
So,
right on
yeah.
cue there.
Any other thoughts? So we didn't go through the whole plot, but you get the idea, right? They killed one of their friends. The mayor is kind of covering up this Sasquatch that he
for
is
financial reasons. He wants that to be a exhibit of his.
Yes, he
at
wants
his
it
live
to be
animal
something
park.
that brings in tourism to the town, all this stuff. He wants to even go as far as to breed the Sasquatch. But then ultimately, there is this kind of showdown that happens, which, if there's one complaint, besides the fact that most of this film was filmed in Fontbell, not Ellwood City, besides that,
Wow.
there is the part where he comes in with the tractor that's got the spike to pick, which is
Hay,
meant to build,
for hay.
pick up bales of hay.
Yeah.
Right.
They run over the Sasquatch's arm and rip it off, which was a cool scene.
Genuinely sweet, sad moment.
Yeah.
I felt bad for the Sasquatch.
I thought that they were going to spear the Sasquatch with
Yeah.
the
They could have
spike.
killed it
That was the
then.
idea.
They could have.
That was
They
the
could have
idea, but
definitely
it's-
killed it then. They did not.
I think it because it would have just ended the movie.
I know.
It's way funnier if Burl trips.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole action sequence, the kind of bumbling nature of the action sequence
Yeah.
was very believable. I
Yeah,
thought.
it was very
Like,
appropriate.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's also kept all the way through. So like Burl trips trying to tackle the Sasquatch. They
He
get their
gets down in 3-point stance, like high school football
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And
Yeah.
rolls
What
his
a
ankle.
guy like Burl would do.
100%.
Yeah.
But then, like, they get their asses kicked at the bar. Like when they're fighting the ninjas and the lady, like they're getting their asses kicked, and like she has a great line. Burl and the German lady are squaring off, and he's like, "I ain't never hit a woman," and she's like, "You still haven't." And, like,
Yeah, that was a good line. There was a lot of really good.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Yeah.
there was a lot of good.
but then he
bits.
just resorts to shooting her with a trank gun because he knows he's a fucking loser. He
Yeah,
can't-
well, then he's like, whatever. She's like, oh, you don't want to fight me like a man? He's like, whatever. And
guess
she's
not.
like, I guess not. That's what he says.
I guess not.
Well, and it's the same thing where the what's his name? Not Daryl, Dale.
Dale.
Where Dale, he's getting picked on by Dan Fetty and his whole group in the bar. So he just goes out, takes his tube socks off, fills them with D batteries.
Yeah.
Wrecks him.
There could have been so many good lines
That's
of like
such a
D
yinzer
names.
ass
You know what I
move.
mean?
And
Like,
also, that's a Hazel move too.
Yeah.
If you've ever been to the Hazel, like shit like that happens at the Hazel.
Like there's no fair
Tube socks
fighting
and
at all
batteries and
in any
stuff?
of
Tube
this
socks
movie.
and batteries. Literally, a kid that I went to high school with shot and killed a guy at the Hazel.
Oh my God!
So not to get too like
what the
yeah.
fuck did you exist in?
Yeah, a guy,
my
a kid
God.
I went to high school with killed a guy. A guy attacked him, and in self-defense, he shot a guy and killed him in the parking lot of the Hazel.
Hey,
Right,
like calling
you
air.
Yeah.
blow my mind every
I
time
thought-
I learn more about it.
Yeah. Shit gets real with the Hazel,
And that's why
right.
you just stick to tube socks and batteries. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. Like,
Yeah,
that. No
that's
one.
clean fighting for
Yeah.
the Hazel. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can use the tube socks to like wipe off the blood, I suppose. You can
Yeah.
like drop them in front and be like, clean yourself up, and then walk away.
Tube socks are standard issue in a Beaver County,
See, I'm so-
Do you have tube socks?
Yeah, they seem oppressive and hot. Too big.
Well, that's for hunting.
Impressive.
See, what I'm surprised about is that he had to take batteries out of a flashlight to put them into tube socks, and
Yeah.
he didn't just have the electric socks for hunting
Well,
that
that's what
already
I'm
had
saying.
the battery in them.
D batteries and tube socks are standard issue in a Beaver County first aid kit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Those are just normal. That's a normal aspect of it.
You forget your toilet paper, you got the tube sock.
It's
You
got a
stop
toilet-
bleeding, you got
Toilet
tube
paper, tourniquet.
Tourniquet.
Nunchuck.
A one hitter.
Yeah.
All that's in the Beaver County first aid kit. But so it's kind of getting towards the end here. They have the kind of showdown with the mayor, and then ultimately Chuck has his kind of showdown with the Bigfoot.
Meg mentioned it briefly, but I did when she got her hand run over. I thought there might have been a chance where they were gonna like start to feel some sympathy for her.
There was, I think, I don't know if you're going this way, but I actually felt like I almost thought that there was going to be this turn where the Sasquatch like had some more humanistic characteristics.
And then they're drinking with the Sasquatch at
like
the bar.
I thought that
I did
maybe
think that
they
was
were
going to happen
actually
too.
going to like fight for the Sasquatch, and then I was like, no, this is a rabid wild animal that wants to kill everything and
I
everything.
got
And
that
I'm
vibe
fine
too.
with that. I'm definitely fine with that scenario. But I feel like there were hints because of that moment. You're like, oh my god, I feel bad for the Sasquatch right now. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
because she's really. I mean, she was captive animal. She escaped.
Innocent captive animal. You know, that's why I don't go to zoos. You know, I don't go to zoos.
that whole scene where they had in that barn out there, and then even where they had the like kind of montage of them kind of falling in love a little bit, riding the quads is literally right up the road from my parents' house in a field back there off of Soap Run Road. That's where all that
feel like I
happens.
know
I've rode quads back there. With
You
them.
just gave us a tour of your town, and
It literally is. This
feel like
feels
I know
like
you
a
so much
tour
better.
of
from
Thank
this
you for
little
giving us-
recording room right here.
Yeah.
Tour.
Thank you for giving us
Even
a
that
tour of your
fence,
life.
when they were riding up along that fence, I was like, I know exactly where that fence is.
Oh my
like
God.
that exact spot we ride quads up
But
there.
also imagine if instead of what it was in the movie, it was that falling in love montage was like the Sasquatch and Pittsburgh Dad.
Dude,
Yeah.
I would be here for it.
I mean,
would
the
love
first
that
time I
too.
fucked a Sasquatch was right in that same field. So I mean, we all lost
Sasquatch's name was Stacy.
we
okay?
all lost our virginity to Sasquatch in that same field.
That's the moral of the story. This is actually just a story about growing
Yeah,
up.
this is just a standard Fawn Bell love story.
Yeah.
No, wait. Do we need to talk about the comment where right before the Pittsburgh Dad like killed it? It was like, we already have enough hairy ladies. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I love this.
That's a great line. I mean, it's literally this movie is way more funny than it has any right to be.
Yeah, it's super fun.
I gave him a lot of respect too because I know in a lot of other episodes you guys talk about the terrible like gunplay that happens and these guys have no idea how to hold a gun. He shot that bow really well.
Yeah.
Like he knew exactly what he was doing. He was looking through the right eye.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Trained for
Well,
that.
they had that. They had the whole montage earlier
He was shooting
where they're
before,
all
yeah.
fucking around with guns, and I had to wonder, like, did they even use squibs or?
They probably fired.
I'm
real
like,
guns.
that's what I figured.
I mean,
like,
in
they're
that field back
probably
there,
actually
like,
shooting.
there was literally nothing
That'd
back
be
there.
easy.
I'm
Yeah.
sure they were just firing real guns.
I almost felt like it almost looked like CGI of sorts, like some of the shots. But I mean, I don't really fucking. I figured I'd like.
That's the
see
thing.
it.
It didn't really come off that way to me, but like
Okay.
they might have sweetened it with some muzzle flash, but I don't know. It just looked like they were shooting guns.
I think
Yeah.
at one point, Meg, I think I know what you're talking about. At one point, when someone comes out with the shotgun and is blasting in somewhere, I
Yeah.
remember thinking that they put some muzzle flash animation in
Yeah.
there. But it honestly, of the Sasquatch movies I've seen, this is in the upper echelon.
This
of
would have
Sasquatch.
probably won the showdown if one of us.
This would have won the
Would have
showdown.
fucking won.
I
would have chosen this.
I would agree with that as well. I mean, I won with Suburban Sasquatch, which is horrifically bad. But this is
so upset.
yeah.
I'm so upset because I was the only one who knew about this film. I had been to the actual premiere.
But we wouldn't be
when it
where
was down
we
at
are
Waterfront.
now.
I can't believe
It was
I,
in a theater?
yeah.
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, they had a legit premiere for it.
I lived in Milwaukee at the time, and I remember like a bunch of my friends who were involved in it all posting about how when they went down to the premiere and the release and all that stuff. And it was a big deal. I'm excited.
Should we take a field trip to the premiere of the sequel?
I feel like we
Absolutely.
probably should.
It says it's going to appear in local
We can
theaters.
bring make this mobile and like try to interview some people and
Listen,
like
let's get. Listen, if we could get Pittsburgh Dad on the show, I mean,
Oh
our
my
Yinzer,
game on.
our Yinzer cred would just go through the roof.
Go straight up.
Yeah, we'll get him in the Cryptorcal here. We'll play with Big Frank and the Brahma Bull, Rocky Maivia, and all my other toys in here. So, all right. Any other thoughts on Bigfoot the movie? I think consensus is we all thought it was a blast. We all had a good time.
I mean, it's
with
not going
it.
to be any surprise. I wanted more Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can understand that.
But I was entertained.
Yeah, if there was one complaint, I would say is there could have been more Bigfoot. But it does feel like maybe they had the costume and the prosthetics and all that like for one night. And they were like, let's get all our shots in this one night type of thing. I mean, this is like a micro budget film.
Maybe that was like the downside is like it felt like it maybe was less of like a Bigfoot film and more about like literally it did feel like a lot about the interaction with the characters, which was really fun. But maybe that would be a knock on it, but it's still like so much fun.
One thing I forgot, another Yinzer tie-in here. Did you guys notice in the scene where they are going to buy the explosive tip arrows at the bar? And it's like clearly like a African American, bar, and they are like very out of place and all this stuff, and then they end up drinking all night there. Did you notice who the guy was that when he hands them the snifter and he's like, "What's this?" and he says, "It's some
Hennessy."
Oh yeah, and
right?
and he goes, "It's Hennessy." Did you see who that was that tells him it's Hennessy?
No.
That's Ed Bailey.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
I didn't even fucking. Oh my god!
That
will
was
literally
Ed
go
Bailey
back.
from Drinking Partners.
I will go back and watch that. Though I felt like it was really funny how they edited towards the end of that scene where it's like the guy's laugher is like, I'm gonna have to go fucking back.
That
I'm gonna
was
have
Ed
to
But
go
it's
Bailey.
back
just even
too.
more funny because if you like have seen even some of the live shows of them,
Yeah, it
they're
was just
always
weird.
talking about like Hennessy, and I fucking love that.
we
I
were
think
there
I
like
love
a
them.
month ago. We
The
watched one of the
Hennessy,
barrel
and I
laugh
think if I
shows.
looked it up, and
I
I
love
recognized him when I saw him, and I looked up on IMDb, and Ed Bailey is credited as Hennessy guy.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I'm gonna show him a
Next
message
time I
after
see
this.
him,
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
to drop that. I'm gonna drop that. So
I
hard.
didn't. I missed that. Oh my
Down
God.
at Big Dogs in Ellwood. I've smoked a lot of cigs, ripped
Oh
a
my
lot
God.
of heaters out the back steps of Big Dogs, played pool on that same table, and ate a lot of wings down there.
I don't think I'm
that's
going
so
home
funny.
after we're done. I think I'm just gonna take
Just
it.
go
I'm
straight
gonna
down to
go
Big
downtown.
Dogs.
Yeah.
It's not called Big Dogs anymore.
Downtown.
It's called like the Pub on Main or something like that. But if you say where's Big Dogs, anyone in Ellwood City is going to go, oh yeah, Big Dogs right there. It's not called Big Dogs anymore.
I'm not even gonna need
yeah.
directions. I'm just gonna
You'll
gonna
know where it is.
I'm gonna
There's
park my
only
truck
one
and walk.
bar on that side of the street. That's not true. There's a meadery down there as well too. Ooh, yeah. Any case, any final thoughts on Bigfoot the movie? It was just
Ben. It's your chance.
I
Final
will
thoughts?
I will
to shine.
take any opportunity I can to come on this podcast, and if it means more Bigfoot movies, that's exactly what it'll be. So you know what that means, guys.
He's gonna change his handle to something else, and then he's gonna be like, "Yeah, you guys are gonna bring me on for the clown fucking episode,"
I'm a clown expert. You know what? Speaking of, I've been wanting to do a clown episode because I am a fan of all things killer clowns, not just killer clowns from outer space, but all things clowns, clownados, all that sort of stuff. I was in Nashville, Tennessee for Clownpocalypse. Do you remember when the clown thing was a whole thing?
I just remember hearing like there were clowns walking around town.
It was
like,
there was like a
being creepy as
roving
fuck.
band of clowns walking
When you
around.
were just there, like just recently.
No, this was
this is a
back
long
in
time
like
ago.
this was probably 2018.
Yeah.
I
It
would've
feels
thought
like the
before
2014,
that. I literally-
2018
yeah,
It might have
area.
been
I think
further
it was
back than
earlier.
that.
Yeah.
But I remember that was that like it was in September, October type of thing, and
Yeah.
that was when all the clown business was going
Was that
along.
when like the less it was coming out or something?
And
I don't
people
know.
were out hunting for clowns and stuff, and so
Are
I'm
we
saying-
becoming clown hunters? Is that like your next move?
yes, I would
Okay.
like for that to be the reality that we live in.
We just,
I
like,
mean,
start
you don't have
punching
to hunt
clowns?
them. You just punch them when you see them.
Just hit it when you see 'em.
I'll give it a hug too.
Clowns are
Hey, buddy.
are always up to no good. In any case, so that was Bigfoot the movie. It is available on Tubi. The Old Testament, the sacred text that is Tubi. Go look it up. It's absolutely worth a watch.
The end of a Bigfoot era, and Halloween is forever.
It is. I mean, I
You
have
guys-
a
Definitely
feeling
is.
it won't
It
be
was
our
the
last.
month of Bigfoot.
It really
for
was.
sure.
If the sequel is any indication,
gonna
we're
happen
probably
again.
going to do that as well,
Absolutely.
especially if they do a premiere of it. We're doing a live show at the premiere,
in the parking lot.
in the parking lot at the Denny's across the road.
Tailgate. Yeah, let's go.
Ripping butts.
Yeah, we're out there ripping cigs, slamming Iron Cities. Did you guys notice the beer they kept chugging in the movie?
I saw a lot of Yingling, but there was one I
yeah, I
didn't
saw
recognize.
A lot of Yingling, a lot of full pint all in amber.
Oh yeah, full pint.
Was that what
Full
that
pint
was?
gets
Yeah.
a credit in the at the end.
Full pint all in amber, which was a fucking killer beer back in the day. I used to love full pint. Actually, my first brewing gig was running the bottling line at Full Pint in North for Sales. And repacking variety packs and running the
Yeah.
bottling line and
Definitely experienced some volcano bottles from them. So
fuck
I'm gonna go
yeah,
ahead
that was
and
probably my fault.
yeah, so I'm gonna blame
Yeah,
you.
Listen,
Yeah.
White Lightning. I used to crush White Lightning.
Yeah.
Chinook, White Lightning, all
I'm
in
very
amber.
curious to try them, like the new stuff.
The
'Cause
new
Chinooki's back.
incarnation.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like
That's a great beer.
Night of the Living Stout back then was
Fuck.
one of the worst beers I've ever had in my entire
Ooh.
life.
No. It's okay, Brian. Brian, big
Yeah.
No,
Fuck you, that
the
beer was
bottle
great.
I had was like so
the
accurate
bottle.
and-
Oh, one.
No,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
that
That's
one
what I'm
bottle
saying.
sucked.
Okay, this is my experience with it. I'm sure my experience, guys. Don't attack me
Okay.
for my experience, okay? Is what I'm saying. I'm willing to give this shit another shot. But what I'm saying, the bottle I had, and that's why I think it was like a packaging thing.
Quality
it was very
went up and down.
accurate and
Yeah.
like bitter, and
Yes.
it was
No, it
like,
was an aggressively
oh,
hopped. It was an aggressively hopped American stout. It was like a 90 IBU American stout.
Yeah.
And she said that, and you guys can't see it. I held up a high five,
God, it
and then
was horrible. I can't
she
even-
just left me hanging and said the
So
beer
sad.
blows.
She blocked you like
Yeah.
just a barrier came down.
It was
emotional.
It was
blocking.
an aggressively hopped American stout. Yeah, it's supposed to be bitter, Meg. Welcome to the fucking party.
Right.
All
Brian
right.
was so offended by that lack of high five.
Oh, yeah.
He looked back at his hand, and from my angle, I thought he had something like he had shit. On
No,
his
I
hand.
just
He literally
stared at
did
my
that shit.
hand, and then
No,
Steve showed
he
some
preemptively was not listening to me. He was like, "No, she's gonna say it rocks," and I said it. You didn't even let me
couldn't-
talk.
Everybody at the table was shocked that you said that was a bad
Well,
beer.
'cause then when you said the beer, I said, "Oh, she's talking about a beer that rules."
Yeah,
of course it's gonna rule.
Yeah.
and then turns out she was about to talk about how bad it sucked.
Full Point had 3 beers that fucking ruled in their early days.
Yeah.
And
I
it was
love the
White
name.
Lightning.
I
Night-
wanted to like it.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that I remember buying a bottle, and I was like, "This is one of the worst beers I've ever had," and I could not drink it. So what I'm saying is that I'm excited.
That's why I should
I
not
am
high-five you.
excited
Shots
to
fired.
try
Shots
the
fired.
new version of Full Pint. Like, and
But
also
the new
hoping
version is
pack-
like the old version now.
No, it's exactly because. But I'm hoping
Who's
it's like the
brewing
quality.
it, by the way?
Bobby
Nacho.
Nacho and
Oh, 412's brewing it.
no,
No, he
well,
used to be at 412. He's now at Full Pint.
Yeah.
Oh, so they have their
Yeah.
own brewery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's the brewery?
At the old one.
In North for Sales?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
but they
no
have
shit.
that
Yeah.
other. They have just like another tap room. up
It's
in
right
Warrendale.
Warrendale.
Yeah,
Straight
the-
up from here.
Yeah, the Warrendale. So they reopened the original full pint space.
Oh, shit,
And they're
okay.
brewing in there, and then they lost a little bit of the barrel space
Yeah.
to put in other equipment.
Well, it's all right because there wasn't really any barrel space there. I remember the first time I went in and we were bottling the Rye Rebellion.
Mm-hmm.
Were you gonna say you're bottling the Netflix?
Neither of them stopped. No, I went in.
Took a
We were
shit in it?
we were getting ready to bottle the Rye Rebellion,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Where's all the barrels?" They were like, "Oh, all the beers in the Brights already." I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, where's the barrels at?" They were like, kind of looked at each other, and I was like, "Where's the barrels?" And then I just looked over it. There's whole giant cases of empty rye whiskey. They
Oh,
were
shit.
literally just dumping bottles into the.
Oh, no.
They
Dumping
didn't even
bottles.
just like soak oak
Nope,
chips
literally
or something like
dumping
that.
full bottles of rye whiskey
Oh,
into the
no.
bright tanks, which is highly illegal.
Yeah, it's a no.
But that was a long time ago.
That-
So
that's not
I-
what's
that
happening
was
now.
Bobby.
That's-
yeah, the statute. No, this was previous owners. I think the
You guys, I
statute
just want to be
limitations
very
might.
clear because I do not want myself to be misrepresented here. I'm not talking shit. There's shit.
You
shit.
love talking shit. Just kidding. Love it. Talking
You
shit
bring out the
on
best in me,
we got
Brian.
the fucking Night of the Living
I just,
Stout
like, seriously, That was
rules.
so perfect. I really wish people could have seen that
Oh yeah,
happen. That
just
was
the
so.
dejected look on my
that was
face. I'm
so
sure.
bad.
What's
perfect.
wrong with my hand?
Yeah. Oh no.
You really hoped I
All
loved it.
right, fuck me, guys. Next week, if you haven't already, go watch the entire Friday the 13th franchise, back to back to back to back to back to back to back.
Brian has the DVDs if you need them.
Yes, I'll let come over my house. Well, we'll let you borrow the DVDs. We'll drink some beers. We'll do some bong rips, and we'll watch at least number 1, which is Meg's movie, number 4, which is going to be Steve's, and number 6, which is going to be mine. And we are going to guys, it's going to be a barn burner. It's going to be a slobber knocker. This has got to be one of the more high-profile topics we've done.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
We actually have the Secret Service coming.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
right below.
I would disagree.
Yeah, right below
whatever.
Bigfoot.
Brian disclosed beforehand that he had like the Secret Service that was going to be standing outside of the door because he was worried that people were going to like
it's going to be a
show
whole
up here.
thing. There's going to be like a mob,
yeah.
pitchforks, and the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, I was a little. I'm
I'm hesitant to ask because I feel like I know the answer.
No.
But Jason versus Bigfoot.
Oh my.
Whoa.
Like,
You know
I
what?
think actually-
Jason is kind of the Bigfoot of
people.
like the big.
Yeah.
I'm
Really?
actually
No,
still
of
going to
the
get
like
Team
big
Bigfoot.
4, big 5 serial
I think I'm
killers.
good.
Are you? Are you?
Yes.
I'm going Team Bigfoot on that one.
Yeah. I don't
Calling
think.
If it's mystical, supernatural, like string theory, jumping from dimension to dimension, Bigfoot, then obviously it's Bigfoot.
right.
But if it's
I
just
don't
like
know.
missing link in the woods, Bigfoot,
If it's just ape. Yeah.
corporeal
still
ape
think-
Bigfoot, I'm taking Jason.
Yeah.
Because Jason's undead. I mean,
True.
he, at later in his series, he
depends
becomes
on which
fully
Jason you
undead.
take.
Okay,
but
well,
yeah.
then so I guess we have to make them equivalent of sorts. So
Yeah.
Bigfoot has to be in mystical form, but I still think there's like the wild aspect that like there would be this. I think Jason. It's a good comparison that Jason would be the Bigfoot of serial killers.
Yeah.
but I do think that like there would still be this natural, like instinctual thing with Bigfoot that would still make it way more strong, way more like powerful in that situation. But also it'd probably be more connected to the land and would be able to use that to its
Does
benefit.
Bigfoot have a machete?
No, but it has fangs.
That's
Actually,
fangs.
also no.
Interesting.
Does
it has
Bigfoot have a bow and
instinct.
arrow?
No. In one movie, Primal Rage, yes, he does.
Has Big-
Canonical is what you're saying?
But I feel like Bigfoot's way more sneaky. Again,
There's-
that's what I'm saying. Like more
more
terrestrial.
sneaky than Jason?
Yeah,
Yes.
like I do.
You guys
I
don't
do,
even
yeah.
know. Like there's stuff that Bigfoot can do that I haven't had a chance to
There's
talk
shit
about
Bigfoot
yet.
can do
There
with
are,
his tongue.
there
that's
are. I'll leave it here, but there
unbelievable.
are people that have seen, like many people have seen this, where they'll be looking at a Sasquatch. This sounds stupid, I know, but just hear me out. And so we're
I'm
talking
with
about
you,
like
Ben.
this big 10-foot tall creature, and it will.
Wait, he's 10 foot tall?
Oh yeah, there's people that see them.
According
at 10 foot
I would put it that he's bigger
I'm
than
the expert
Jason.
here. You brought me here.
His
to,
handle is Bigfoot Benjamin.
on!
Please
This
stop
didn't
questioning
happen
him
by
right
mistake,
now.
Brian.
That's true.
All right. 10-foot tall thing, superimposing, and then it just fucking drops and it crawls like a spider. Its hands go straight out,
Shit.
legs go straight out, and
I'm
it just
here for
like
it.
people say it like just fucking melts into the ground and crawls off like on the floor.
That's acid that those people have done. What you're describing is an
drugs,
acid
bro.
trip. Yeah.
I did find
Because
mushrooms
I've seen
when I was
that
unpacking,
happen
guys,
with
so
the
we can
cowboy
make this happen.
Kingwood. But that's because I ate acid.
Definitely, I definitely have a mini-sode. Episode suggestion is that we should all just like either take acid or mushrooms and then just like come up with theories and like actually flesh them out on an episode.
Yeah.
I did find them when I was unpacking. So
Yeah. There you go. There you
Coast
go.
to coast on acid.
I'll just stick to like a Delta 8 gummy or something like that. That's about my level of that stuff.
Yeah.
So,
And some ham
Alright.
salad.
and hams out.
All right, boys and ghouls, that was a lot of fun talking about Bigfoot the
Sure
movie.
was.
Go ahead and check out on the social medias for a reminder in the coming weeks here, or in the coming days, rather. We are going to be talking about Friday the 13th in our goddamn Showdown episode next month, or next week, rather. Hard to believe it's coming up so fast on us. But join us as we talk about that next week. And if you've got any suggestions or you got any other shit you want to talk about on the internet, follow us. If you just search Halloween's Forever on any of those assorted platforms, you will find us. It's a goddamn pumpkin guy on there. And for the Halloween's Forever crew, I guess, I'm Brian.
I'm Meg.
I'm Steve.
Hey, I'm Ben.
Hey, we'll see you later.
Bye.